Your was goody, was goody, was good, y'all. I just finished recording for Sunday's video. Head of the curb. And now I'm doing like little like audio stuff for the video. Like audio setup basically. Which I got going on. You want a break? That's a dub. Hold on, remember how to do this? Okay, filter curve. And we go to whoa, do not do that one. Bass boost. Gotta boost that bass. Let's go in the video. Always in the video, bro. Season not over yet. Treble boost. What's good, Jalen? And then we do low roll off for speech. Bam. Oh, and then I have to do a compressor as well. Let me add the compressor on there. And then we are good to export that audio. Bam. Now I just have to do that 2 more times and we can just get into some like cool vibes. I just start streaming with 0 plan. Absolutely 0 plan. We just kind of here. Y'all got the notification. Y'all joined kind of fast. I was surprised. Seeing the chat comments on the screen, I was like, whoa, they joining. They're actually here right now. Hold up. There's a new video coming out because my wallet is still kind of homeless. Sunday. I don't really know. Are you asking that, man? Videos been coming out Sunday for like the entire year. There's nothing new around here, gang. Why you acting brand new today? Why are we acting brand new today? Facecam stream when? Never, because I don't have a facecam and I don't feel like buying one and setting it up. You're not gonna see me. Dispatch, it's time. Don't have the game. Do not have the game, and I've seen the ending. You wasn't. You're new. How new? Like how freshly new? Like when did you sub? If you've been subbed for longer than a month, you're not that new. If you've even been subbed for a month, you're still new. But you should get the memo. I said let's not act brand new, and he is in fact new. Feel kind of bad. Not gonna lie. Oh, almost messed up. A couple weeks ago. Yeah, you've already had 2 Sundays to adapt, bro. We about to buy it for you. I mean, you can. I'm still. If you give me money, I promise I'm not gonna buy that game. I promise I'm not gonna buy the game. How do you check how long you've been subbed? Honestly, I don't really know. You know, there is a setting for it too, or actually, there's a setting for how long you've been on YouTube, but I don't actually know if there's a setting for how long you've been subbed. I don't know. I don't know that one. Trying to do YouTube stuff like on stream throws off my entire brain. Okay, he said, give me some time. I'm seeing you getting used to this. Wait, get used to this. I just subbed a couple weeks ago, so I did not know. I was not aware. Nah, bro, it's all good. I'm just messing with you. Um, how y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Been sub for a year now. You said you've been sub since Azam's fight. That's a decent place to sub at. Play me in Clash Royale. I don't play Clash Royale. In fact, I played Clash Royale when it first came out, and then I realized I didn't like this game. So I think my brothers play it. I think. Actually, I know one of my brothers does play it. I'm not sure about the other one though. He might still have it on his phone, but he might not actively play it, you know? What y'all know about like Balloons Tower Defense? Like, W background music. I can't hear it right now, but I just know it's banging right now. Wise Duck. That's funny. If I was good at Clash Royale, I'd play it, but like I don't like how the game plays. I don't like enjoy playing like that. Like like that game's format is the same reason I don't play Dragon Ball Legends. I just don't like how those games play. Like it's a cool concept though, especially with Dragon Ball Legends with how they do their animations and stuff, like the actual fighting, um, and like the uniqueness each character kind of brings. But the actual play style of the game, not for me. And it'll probably never be for me if we're being honest. All right, let me get on this last little bit, then I can actually lock in. What's your what's my flavor of game? Um, it's actually like let me finish this real quick and I'll answer that question more properly. So because I can look at the games that I have at the very least, and I can name them off, and then like we can kind of guesstimate what sort of genres they fit in, you know? Okay, so that was a compressor. Okay, I should be good. I should be good. I think. Wait, yeah, was that the compressor? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. Question: if you could make your own talent, what type would you like, and what ranking would you be? I already have a character for that. So, talent type, control hide, rank, pillar to god tier level. And it's not because like I'm making him OP, it's because the story I'm writing directly correlates to how strong he gets. His talent is kind of relatively strong already, especially after like the training arc he has. Um, it's also like the goal. He's like supposed to be a little strong at that point. But he has a technical test, but it's not really a test. It's more like a like survival. Anyway, by that point, he's like a guaranteed rank, like rank 150. He's just in verse. He's like, I think he's like at least 6 years younger than Andrea, so he's only 20, and he could probably contend with her in terms of skill, but he doesn't have the same level of experience as she does. So like, she basically just got ranked, and then we saw her actually like go on a mission. He would be not the equivalent in power, but the equivalent in experience to the Andrea we see fight Noragiri, basically. Okay. What game are you best at? Probably Tekken right now. Yo, tired than a motherfucker. What's good? What's good? Code Archives. Shout out to Code Archives. I'm gonna mention him 2 times in Sunday's video. Take your time, Lord J. W Glaze. What's good, Naoni? What can his talent do? I've actually talked about his talent a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna spin back to this concept. I'm gonna spin back to this concept. I'm gonna go back to what my flavor game is. All right, so if we look at Steam, if we just look at Steam real quick, let's actually change the screen. If we look at Steam real quick, I might as well full screen it for y'all. If we look at Steam real quick, so I got all these games over here cataloged. So my favorite games, I got Character Inspiration. This is obviously for story related purposes. I just bought this game. Who knows when I'll play it? I've been playing this game a lot recently, getting back into Warframe. Shout out Warframe. I re-downloaded this game. You see all my achievements. You see all my unlocks. I did that. Did I cheat? Absolutely, and I don't care. Game's very fun. This is a type of game that you can like pick up and like put down. You know, I kind of like games like that, but none of these games are like that. Apex. I used to love this game, but I don't play it anymore. Tekken probably one of my top games right now. I'm just actively playing. I haven't played it in a minute, if I'm being honest. Actually, that's not true. I played it either what's today? Today's Wednesday. I think I might have played it like Sunday night, maybe Sunday or Monday night. Elden Ring, one of my favorite games. I've beat this game like 4 or 5 times. I think two or three times on P5, 2 or 3 times on PlayStation, or on PlayStation. I'm tripping, on PC. This game is just one of my favorite games. Deathloop. This is also one of my favorite games. It has like a weird nostalgia feeling. I can't wait to beat this game. I've been putting it off because I don't feel like playing it just yet. I kind of want to savor where I'm at right now. This is one of those games where like if you're playing, you kind of have to lock in. Not because it's hard, sort of. Not because like it's fully hard, but like you have to be very intentful with what you're doing. And I like to be intentional. So keep the momentum going. Bloons 2D6. This is one of my games right here. Elden Ring is for PvP. That guy's crazy. This is one of my favorite games. W mobile game, W PC game. It's just a good time. Like, you're not gonna not have a good time on this game. Very good. If we go to games to stream, obviously y'all know I was streaming Sifu. I still have to beat it. Don't sleep on the Sifu streams. They will return when I have a proper time. The thing is I want to actually like take a good chunk of a day and just play as much Sifu as I can, especially if I'm gonna be stuck on a boss, right? Which is why I haven't streamed this game yet. Shout out Marvel Rivals. I'm not like a Marvel Rival streamer, so this game is just kind of sitting here, but I have streamed it in the past. I could stream it if that's something y'all want to see. I've been kind of getting good with Gambit, but I'm also decently good with Penny still. God of War. I'm actually thinking about doing the first one, or not the first one, the other one, and then this one, the one that just says God of War before this one. I might do that one and then this one, but I do want to replay this game as a whole, right? Dark Souls 3, never played this game, but I played Elden Ring, so I want to play this one. Might say this for like a off-stream thing. It's just kind of here for now. But Black Myth Wukong. Y'all know I had YouTube videos for that one. I think I put them all on membership only. I'm gonna beat this game on stream, and then I'm a members only. So I'm gonna do a whole bunch of streams for this game until I beat it, and then it's just gonna get hit with the members only, right? So if you came and you saw, and if you didn't, you know, just a cool $2.99. I do still have some footage of this game saved, so I'm gonna put that out and then I'll do the streams. So I'm gonna edit the other stuff first and then I'll do the streams when I get to this game. But I'm only gonna play this game after I beat Sifu. After I beat Sifu, right? So that's how that's gonna be. That's how that's gonna go. Other games, if we're looking, I can't really see because my mic is in the way. I used to really love Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I used to love this game actually. I was never really good at it, but I did just enjoy playing it. I didn't like this game very much. Not gonna lie. Like I'm not sure what I thought it was gonna be, and it kind of was what I thought it was, but it wasn't at the same time. It doesn't really make sense. Um, a lot of these games are like my brothers, so some of them don't I haven't actually played. I didn't like Night Rain. I like its concept, but I don't like playing its concept. I'd rather watch this game. Um, Keep going. I did play Forza for about 88 minutes. 88 minutes. I'll probably play this game again, but as of right now, it's literally been untouched for months. Keep going. I played a decent amount of Power World. This game was really fun when it first came out. I bought this game, and then this was back when I had a Steam Deck though. I sold that so I could build this PC I'm streaming on. Shout out to the guy that bought it. He paid for my parts. Street Fighter 6? I'm better at Tekken than I am at Street Fighter 6, if I'm being real. Um, Street Fighter 6 has like too many buttons for me. I don't. And then I feel like you can really only if you're playing Street Fighter 6 at the highest level, you need a game stick, bro. But I don't even want to press all those buttons. Just don't feel like it. Like it's just too many buttons, bro. Light, mid, and heavy for punches and kicks. I can't do it. I just can't do it. So yes, I play modern controls on Street Fighter 6, and I don't care. I don't care. I was never good at to begin with, and now I'm slightly good thanks to modern controls. You can't see the character list on here. The only reason it's uninstalled is because I haven't played it in a while because I play Tekken more. I also play Akuma in the game, so shout out Akuma. That's kind of it though. Like everything else is a little basic, a little like Cuphead. I could also stream this game, but I just watched somebody beat it, and I kind of don't really want to play it because of that. So, but if this is something y'all want to see me play, I could for sure play this on stream too. Like this is it's hard, but it's like nothing to play, you know. It'd be like a good stream session. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I like COD. I don't really like COD these days anymore though. Like Cold War and like Modern Warfare 3 and like Vanguard. Those are like the games I kind of got back into with Call of Duty. I didn't like MW2. Really don't like Black Ops 6. And I think it's only because Call of Duty doesn't run well on my PC. But if it did, I'd probably be playing Call of Duty a lot more. But Call of Duty like Call of Duty and like first person shooters are just they're not my thing anymore, you know? You know? Yeah, so those are the games I play. We could like this would be considered a what is that term called? A roguelike, I think. I think this is a roguelike because it's different every time you play. Like there's different seeds and stuff. Kind of like Minecraft. Um I think these would be considered like RPGs. I think this could be considered an RPG too. Then you got your like story games, your fighter games, your story games, like solar players, you know, like these, you know, things like that. Those are the games I play. Like those are the games I play for the most part. All right, spinning back to the character concept. Let me like throw up a picture because I do have one. Let me throw up some art from the front of homie. Also, a dream car. Mine is a Dodge Charger STR Hellcat. Oh, you must be black. No racial though. My cousin doesn't have that car. I think my cousin just got a Durango. Good for him. His other car got into a crazy wreck. She was horrible. Thank God he's alive. Let me remember what I'm doing. Here? Let's look at my boy. Let's look at my boy. Let's look at my boy. Full screen, bro. I'll talk about this dude. I talked about him before. How do I escape this? Okay, so I can just wait, if I do like this, I'll just hit the full screen. Oh no, I just click the button. I mean, you ain't wrong, but okay. All right, this is the character from my story. This is his talent. This is also a part of his talent, right? So like control, hide. I think I've talked about him like 3 times now, man. Um, he has technically a lot of abilities, technically. Um, but he's also trained by a Heart Clan member, so some of that kind of plays into it, like, to a certain degree. But here's the quick rundown because I'm not gonna do this forever. The Black Panther is his talent, like it's a living talent, right? It's kind of like Kong and Hisame, but it doesn't talk. It doesn't talk. Um, and instead of how like Hisame is spirit and Kong is more physical, it's like a mix of both, right? Uh, it can be interacted with, but it doesn't like take damage like Kong, right? It's kind of more like spirit damage or think it more akin to like breaking glass or a shadow clone like disappearing. Like if it takes enough damage, it'll like poof basically, right? And just like kind of return to wherever talents like him go, right? Okay, so he has 3 base abilities. They can share vision, kind of like Abijah and the crows. He can hide inside shadows, like he can actually go inside of other people's like other shadows and like just like be in there. And then he can give him a hide, which is what this is, right? Like that's what this is, right? Um, Taking those abilities further, the shared vision can be focused because he has like innately higher what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I said they share vision. They don't just share vision, they share senses. They share senses. Oh, it's Trixie. That'd be Trix. Um they don't just share vision, they share senses. So they share sight, smell, and hearing, right? And then all of that can be focused for like defensive purposes. And then there's also like a what is it called? Have you ever watched Hunter x Hunter with like N and like how they can like extend their aura and like a certain radius and like detectabilities? Their senses can be like manipulated through chi to do that basically, right? So that anywhere in within a certain radius, he can just tell exactly where it is. Like he can gauge it like perfectly, right? Kind of like N. Moving on to the shadow related abilities. So what's a good way to explain it? Is that the artist name? Yeah, Shadow Ronin. I don't think his Instagram is active right now, so you can't get in contact with him if you wanted to. He's been like focusing on his craft. So when it goes inside of a shadow, actually that's not how I want to explain it. So I had it so that he can't manipulate shadows when inside unless it's his own. So if he goes into his shadow, he can manipulate the shape of it, right? Like, and that in turn kind of like manipulates him in his shape as well, right? So he has one where he's like essentially like a humanoid sort of individual, like if it were a shift visually, but it's not. And then he also becomes a katana. Those are specific story related things. Yeah, bro's gatekeeping. It's not gatekeeping. Like if you look up Shadow Running on Instagram, it's not gonna show up. So is this character on the same level as the God tier? This version, like this specific version, no. This specific version, no. He's missing one weapon. Um, this sword technically wouldn't look like this in the future. He's missing like 3 distinct talent weapons with this one and this one like having changed looks. because of how they operate. And then he's listing like another weapon too, right? That one is cursed though. But while he has like his talent at max potential and all three of those things, he is a god tier level cameo. Yes. And then the last ability, so I said he gives him a hide, but instead of just giving him a hide, he becomes the hide, which increases like all the kind of previous abilities, right? While he has the hide on, they can share vision, right? But when he becomes the hide, his senses are just enhanced, right? So like all the things he could see, hear, and smell because of him, he can kind of do it himself because he has him as a hide now, right? That makes sense. He also gets a strength buff, a kinesthetic movement buff, and he can manipulate his own shadow freely. Right? Is that it? I think so. I think that's it for what his talent can do. Yeah, what his talent can do. Yeah, that's everything. With it excluding like other weapons and stuff, right? Excluding the 3 talent weapons he gets. It's been a while since I've heard about your OC, to be honest. Yeah, it's been a minute. He's gotten way more stuff now, so you're actually very far behind. But I'd be gatekeeping him, so it doesn't matter. This becomes a talent weapon. Right now, it's not. Like, technically, in this image, this is essentially him, like, post-training. Like, this is what he would look like after training. Like, after 2 years of training. Like, this is kind of him. Technically, this would be broken, but that's not important. Yeah, so the way I wrote it is that the panther increases in size. So like when he was smaller, it was smaller, and now that he's bigger and stronger, it's also bigger and stronger, right? So it kind of looks like tiger size, even though it's not supposed to be technically, but that's also how he drew it, and that's perfectly fine because I can explain that very easily. But yes, this becomes a talent weapon, and this becomes a talent weapon, and then he has another one that he gets from somebody else of relevance. All his talent weapons have a sentimental attachment because they relate to people important to him, like relevant people in his life, right? Yep, that's what I'll share. Questions, comments, or concerns? Do you know any other artists with this level of skill? Not personally. I mean, there are some out there that I've seen, but not personally. Like, I don't personally know any. I think there are some on the Discord, the Ordeal Discord, which is currently closed. But I guess I would say they have the same level of skill, but none of them, except I think only a couple of them do digital art though. Only a couple do digital art. Yeah, and a lot from what I've seen, for the most part, most of them do like more sketches and like traditional art when they draw, as opposed to like digital art, right? So like there are some like other artists, that are good, but none of them do digital art, and none of them like commission the art as well, right? I hope Netflix reaches out to you to make a show. Not gonna lie, gang, I am not sure why you're saying that. Ordeal is not my property. That is not my property. Yeah, not my property. I'm gonna show y'all something else that guy made because it's gas. I'm gonna use it later on. The way it's looking now, though, Brent for sure gonna get an anime. Shout out Warner Brothers. This right here. This is like a younger version of the Heart Clan member that trains the other character I just had on screen, right? This is supposed to be him during the Heart Clan massacre, right? You can tell by the blood, the sword, the blah 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 blah. Yeah. Shout out Shadowrun. This was gas. He did this to me. He gave this to me for free, by the way. So I'm not gonna leave this on the screen too long though. Might be some thieves. Can't trust y'all. Finally, I've got a better idea for a core talent after scrolling Pinterest for a bit. It's about to be gas. I feel like you say that every time. No disrespect, but it's like, when is it just gonna definitively be gas? Where's the like when are the maybes gonna disappear? When is it like gonna be gas? When is it like gonna be the one? When is it gonna hit, You've also done a gore talent like 3. This would be 3. Twice? Twice now? You also say trust me every time too. I hate that chat show up a little delayed. But like, because I look crazy. But on mango it'll be gas. Bro's gonna die. Bro is going to be deceased. Alright, chat, what we doing? What we doing now? What's the move now? What we getting into on this Wednesday night? Probably not gonna stream for that long. I say that all the time and I end up streaming for way longer than I thought. Let's get like a max 2-hour stream going. Max 2 hours. What we got going on, y'all? Questions, comments, concerns, ideas, concepts? Let's get into it. Let's hear it all. No spoilers though. That's lame. I wonder if that TikTok dude. Do you remember Shadow Fight? Fun fact: I watched a YouTube video not that long ago on Shadow Fight 2's lore. Crazy. Trust me, one last time, I'll deliver it Tuesday or Wednesday. How do you plan on making your character reach a level of God tier? I'm just curious. So he. Okay, how do I explain it in a way where you're like, where people aren't like, that's BS. Okay, the character as an individual is always striving to be better, right? Which is a partial reflection of myself. So that somewhat reflects in his own development. So when he goes to train, he has a certain level of strength he's trying to surpass, right? I can't say definitively that like that level of strength at the time is like sort of closer to a 150 level Kimyo. I wouldn't say that, but essentially he has a goal in mind that he's trying to surpass, right? He just ends up surpassing it sort of kind of by leaps and bounds, right? So the training is his initial gateway into the 150, okay? In that time, he develops techniques that I would consider high level, right? He doesn't simply just like, yeah, he can have the Black Panther fight with him in like a normal sense, like as if literally it's just an animal fighting with you, but he literally molds its shape and it's now humanoid. So he's essentially fighting in the same way that Kong is fighting with Anton, right? Okay. So there's that, right? There's that. His shadow abilities, they're a lot stronger when they don't involve the Black Panther. It's like the Black Panther technically limits their capabilities, but his full hide, essentially, it allows him to control his own shadow. And the shadow, like by itself, like, or I guess some of the shadow adjacent abilities, they bypass durability. They just do. So there's that, right? There's that. There's also like a sort of like chi thing. So like We know that characters, they have to reach their chi limit, which is nearly impossible. But Brent confirmed that, you know, the chi of a talent weapon gets added to yours, right? Like it gets added to your overall chi, right? So there's also that. So he has the chi of his talent plus the sort of minor and major chis of other weapons he has, right? Um, One of them is a cursed talent weapon, and it also boosts the strength of his talent, right? So there's that. And then with that boost, it allows his talent to be that much stronger than it already is at its peak, right? I plan to write feats and things like that that actually show how strong and how fast he is, because it's relatively easy to do in this sense. Um, but the idea is that he trains and becomes a 150 member, and then he slowly gains experience up until a certain point, and then he's kind of still doing that, and then he kind of, I guess, after a certain point in time, and it'll be like over like the basically like the 7 year span that is potentially season 3 to season 4 is when he truly masters his talent's pinnacle, right? That's when he truly masters his talent's pinnacle. And then after that, he acquires 2 additional talent objects that will just aid his overall strength, right? And reach him to the levels. I have it in mind that during the sort of 7 month period, he's like a pseudo god tier, as he's directly protecting an entire country, right? You know how like the god tier can destroy, like Zuri, for example, she can protect all of Africa by herself. I have that in mind for him, but specifically for one singular country. Um, yeah, yeah, right. And then he acquires an object, and it just kind of boosts all those capabilities like tenfold, right? Blah 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 blah. You get the idea. How many talent weapons can your character use? Um, I would only say 2, or I would say 1. Like the limit seems to be 1 at a time, so he would only ever be using 1 at a time. But he technically, one of them he doesn't use in combat. Like it wouldn't be common for him to use it in combat. It would be sort of like a, how do I say, a get out of jail free card, like a surprise, I guess. Like it's not common for him to do it, and he would be, if he does use it, it's sort of to catch his opponent completely off guard, right? Because they wouldn't know he has something like that. Like it's not so visible that they can be like, oh, he's gonna do something with that. Like it'd be a surprise, right? Whereas the other 2, they are actual combat weapons, right? Like the sword you saw, that's one of the weapons. So it's very common for him to use it. He's a swordsman. But the other one is also a weapon, but it's big enough to be clear that it's going to be used. However, if he's not using the sword, he'll use the other weapon, that weapon in particular. But he's only using that weapon, in my mind, at his peak. Like he'll only use that when he's using the fullest extent of his talent as well. That's how I see it. So, long story short, he'll only be using 1 weapon at a time, right? But he owns 3, but he only uses 1 at a time. And technically, he won't use one of them often. What's going on? What's good? Ariel? I'm not really sure how to say that name these days. Just talking about one of the characters I made. What's that guy's name on TikTok? If I can look up ordeal matchups. Stop. I think I have the file for it. I think. I should have saved it somewhere. Yeah, this guy. See if I can look this guy up. 00. Search. Yeah. Age restricted. Let's see if I can look up some ordeal matchups real quick. I'll come back to this one later. This will make more sense later. There's a good talking point in there too. Damn, broski. What is this other series he's covering? How I've been? How's the family? I've been pretty good. We kind of doing good right now. We kind of chilling. Nothing like too crazy going on. We're just kind of coasting through life right now. Yeah, see, this is the one I saw. He doesn't really have that many, if I'm really being honest. I don't like ordeal matchups because we don't really know enough about. I don't think I read that. We don't know enough about really anyone, and the ranking makes it easy. It kind of see who wins. True, but there can be nuance to it. It just depends on one who is actually being put against each other, but also who is if you like do equal stats, which you could always do that. See like who has better hacks. Okay, this one. Like this is one where like your point would make a lot of sense, right? Like this one right here. This one right here. This one. So like, wait, is this a spoiler? Am I spoiling anything? No, okay. Like this one, like we don't know what this version of Shay can do, right? We don't know what this version of Shay can do. So like, but conceptually speaking, he has nothing. Like Kevin shouldn't be able to like do a lot against him. We just know most of his kit, but we don't know about this part of his kit, right? We don't know this part of his kit. So, you know, he kind of booms him. I don't know why they put Lord Anton here, but if it's season 2 Anton and Baija wins, but if it's season 3 Anton, it's a little different. And Anton can only win if he's at his max or close to his max. You know what I mean? Are you going to your mom's house or someone else for Thanksgiving? I'm going to some family member's house way off in a distance that I don't know. Somewhere like 45 minutes away from me. Get some food, say some hellos, dap some people up. Maybe they'll bring up how they was the last time they saw me, I was this big, and then I'll just go about my day. But it's also tomorrow, so I'm not gonna be there for very long, and then I'm gonna just dip and eat my food or get a plate and then dip and then come back and then get ready for Sunday's video, as I do. Are you going? Oh wait, no, I just read that one. What do you think, in your personal opinion, is the strongest character in Ordeal? Shay. I feel like that's not that hard. Anybody else? Maybe. Maybe Thanatos. But like Shay has just done and shown stuff that like maybe Kevin, but like I mean Lord Faith did say Anton would be able to take one of them before he dies. That can mean anyone. Yeah, that can mean anyone, but it also means like that's also in a squad fight too, so he just ensures that one of them would die. But like, I know, what does that look like in a one-on-one setting, against someone of his caliber definitively who has more experience than him, you know what I mean? What does that look like? It's just possible for him to kill them. It's possible. It's definitive impossible, but it's not guaranteed basically. Like it's not we can't say, oh yeah, because he can, he will, essentially. So I would put more money on Abijah only because he has more experience, but you can't count Anton out, and I don't want to count him out, but we don't, like you said, we don't know what he can do now. He should just be stronger naturally, hopefully, you know, like better chi control, things like that. But I mean, you know, Sabito Heart versus the Iron Gaki. If we're going off last week's episode, Sabito should low key have no problem with him. Like, not even low key, like high key have no problem with him. Like, this should not be hard for him. Even if you think, if what I said about immortal characters is true, he'll just outlast him. Unless you think he has more chi than him, which I wouldn't argue that. Personally, I wouldn't argue that. Just me though. Was good. Cursed Uzumaki was goody. She said I'm free. It's funny. Yeah, I wouldn't say he has more chi. I literally ranked him pretty low. So like this is the nuance I'm talking about. Like he's literally immortal, right? So the argument becomes the argument is always kind of like, can any character basically outlast his immortality, right? Or and the way I look at it personally is conceptually could any insert character here get a technical kill on Goro before Goro could get a technical kill on them. You know what I mean? That's how I look at like matchups with Goro specifically, right? Sabito would dice this nigga for 10 days straight and then go home to his wife. Abel versus Lord Thomas. Leo murders this nigga. This nigga is trash. He's actually trash. This nigga's actually trash. You said you think Sabito would steal him in ice. That's also a fair point. He could just keep him in unbreaking ice. Technically haven't seen him do that, but it's very possible. Because like Bjorn can do it, but like Sabito should just have a better ice talent overall. But you get the point. We actually have seen him do kind of something similar with what's his name? Even as a 10-year-old against Hachi. Semi different, but like it's like shows that it's kind of possible basically. This nigga's buns. Especially this version of him. This specific version, this nigga's buns. Another thing about matchups is like these titles are not specific. Like with like titles with the pictures, like this is Anton in season 2 versus just a Abaisha. Like this is Anton in season 2. Like I feel like even a season 2 Anton, even at his matches, wouldn't fare well against a god tier. Like now season 3, that's a more up for debate. But this specific version of him would just get waxed. This is one-sided anyway. This is also one-sided. The only version of Thanatos that really stands up to Leo is the one we see in 145. Why do you think Abel is buns, man? Because the only version of Abel that is genuinely strong and is genuinely a threat is the version we see in 145 and debatably the one we see in, I think it's 139. The only reason the 139 version is a threat is because 1, Thanatos is in control, and 2, he has chi that either rivals or to some degree surpasses Jin's. But everybody above Jin likely could kill him, especially if Thanatos is not in control. But of course, Thanatos has been in control the entire time, so I wouldn't say that. But just looking at like chi from a chi standpoint, this version of Leo would have like more chi than this version of Abel. This version. But even looking at the second version we see, where after he absorbs all the blood and chi from or actually the chi from the soldiers in this episode, he would still have more chi than him, right? He would still have more chi than him. He wouldn't have more experience, but he would still have more chi than him. And the only version of this guy that's a threat to him is the one that's supposed to be above the god tier. You know, after what Abel did to the first table, I wouldn't think he's buns. He's buns. I mean, they didn't do that great anyway, so they're kind of buns too. And I like the first table, specifically Jin and Junie. They're buns. They got cooked. And mind you, the only reason the only reason he won is because this nigga is old. He's old. He's older than them. And he just knows how to dismantle them. That's it. That's it. That's it. If it was actually Abel, if it was Abel Legasov fighting, which is why the names are misleading. If it was Abel Legasov fighting, they would kill him. They would kill him definitively. Because Abel doesn't have any knowable experience, any experience that he may have, we don't know. We don't know. But they're supposed to be battle hardened and always in the field. So the first table versus Abel, even at that power level, he just gets waxed. He just gets waxed. But obviously we saw Thanatos at that power level. With his experience, he can beat them. He can just dismantle them. Wait, what was Abel plan after the Thanatos bit? He basically will. So if Thanatos is gonna like destroy the world and like murk 90% of the population, leaving a world only for Kimyos, Abel is simply just going to take control because he can and just kill everybody and himself. That's all this guy's gonna do. He's just gonna wait out the entirety of Thanatos' plan, and when like Thanatos is, I guess, strong enough and there's enough like people left, he'll just kill everybody. He'll just kill everybody anyway, right? But yeah. So I'm gonna go this side, this side, this side, this side, like this. Let me see if I can find another one. Abel sucks. It took me a little minute to scroll and find that one though. Hold up. There's one up higher, but it just has spoilers. What's this? If I knew the characters from this, we might do this one. Wait, let me look at this one. Hold on. Okay, so we're doing team fights. Okay, so y'all might be able to help me with this one. Nah, Abel is crazy as hell. Yeah. What's up, Faceless? Y'all might be able to help me with this one. There are some characters I don't know about. By the way, I just came now. What is your analysis on Ronin Shay versus Kevin battle? Ronin Shay wipes. It's probably not that close, low-key. Kevin is living chi right now. Shay has an ability that allows him to burn a talent and target chi. There's no conceivable argument you could come up with that says Kevin can win. That alone just makes Shay more broken than he needs to be. What I miss? I was just looking at some versus battles. I pulled up one right here. There's some characters on here I don't really know about. What do you think is going to be the next important character to die? Hopefully one of the god tier. I don't think any of the Cubs are going to die. Any more Cubs will die this season, I should say. So at that point, it's kind of like, we still don't know what's going on with Aldridge, so maybe Aldridge? Maybe? Like Aldridge question mark? Damn, Zahara is too tough. I mean, yeah, like, no, like, she's good. It's just that it's more situational than just, like, Zahara being good. Like, Zahara's good, yes, but I feel like, in my opinion, without that specific circumstance, Shay wouldn't have acquired Purple Flames, basically, you know? Unless he trained for it like he did with the Blue Flames, basically. I hope Kofi drops. I don't really care if Kofi dies. I just want to see Kevin again. I wonder how Shay would use the Eye of Time, especially since we've seen how Masato hard use it with a sword. Even with that showcase, it's kind of weird because we don't really know how he uses it. Like the way the panels are drawn, he kind of doesn't move, so you could almost imply that he either is moving so fast within the time field that he's, you know, his opponent's perception of time is so off that he can deliver multiple attacks and then go back to the same spot like it's nothing, or he kind of just faked bro out and he didn't actually use his sword, and the time field is actually just a field that is deploying an effect that came from a captured moment in the past. Like there's too many unknowns, and I don't like that. I don't like that. We don't. There's too many questions when answers can be given. Essentially, what's your opinion on Shay's crash out blowing up Trinidad? Um, what's my opinion on Shay's crash out? I forgot I cut my finger a little bit earlier. Literally, a piece of my flesh is gone. It could have been written better. I personally don't hate it. It could have been written better. Um, I don't like that nothing other than a lesson came about from that conflict. Basically, Brent giving exposition for the wrong shit. Yeah, Eye of Time felt like judgment cut from Virgil, and yeah, that's probably a good way to look at it. Havoc or Kidding, like in terms of like which talent is better. Havoc, for as of right now. As of right now. Oh wait, Zahara should have never been given to Shay. I'm gonna be honest. I hated that chapter we seen. I mean, man, that's tough. Me personally, I knew it was gonna happen. I foresaw it months ago. Actually, I foresaw it last year. I already knew it was gonna happen. Um, the problem isn't Shay getting Zahara. Shay getting Zahara makes sense for a couple of reasons, especially because it adds to his fighting style. The problem is that Andrea doesn't have any replacement. Andrea just gets shafted. Shay can get Zahara and all the things that encompass her, but Andrea is just essentially left on her knees begging for scraps, right? That's the real problem. Um, and even this season, the way it's set up, it's genuinely okay if Shay gets Zahara because Andrea can have her own character arc with the Ilios portion she has, as well as acquiring another weapon. But it just hasn't been written like that. So a lot of people are mad because Shay got Andrea or Shay got Andrea. Well, yeah, technically, Shay got Zahara, but Andrea got nothing. Like I don't think I don't think you can write if we're keeping Zahara the same way. Oh, it's y'all. It's Master Brent, y'all. It's Master Brent. Be respectful, but I'm still talk my mess. If we're keeping Andrea and Zahara exactly the same, there's no way for Andrea to overcome Cursed Chi the same way Shay does. There's just like no way for her to do it essentially because it's Cursed Chi, especially the way Andrea is this season. She's not she's not mentally there. She doesn't have enough mental fortitude to hold back a curse, which we literally see in the episodes, right? It just makes more sense for somebody like Shay to acquire Zahara, not just because it fits his fighting style, but because his conviction is actually there to tame Cursed Chi, and he can break the curse. He can break the curse. I don't think there's another character in the series as of right now, outside of maybe the Great Four, that could break Zahara's curse. I genuinely do not think there's another character that could do it, which makes Zahara that much more important for Shay to have because he's the only character who could do what he did, right? The really only problem is that Andrea is left like it's like it's like they're eating food from like a pot in the middle, and Shay and Andrea had the big piece, and Shay took the big piece, but Shay didn't give anything back. Andrea didn't get any other pieces. You know what I mean? That's kind of the issue. That's kind of the issue. right, let me look at chat because I am seeing y'all. Um, Brent said Andrea has a different role. What's up, Brent? Shout out Brent for being in the streams. This like his, I don't know, third, fourth stream he's pulled up to. Shout out Brent for being in the streams. I'm still your number one fan. I'm gonna keep reacting, analyzing, and repping your content. You just got. I'm gonna be honest, Brent. You just gotta do a little better. I'm gonna be honest. You gotta do just a little better, just a tad bit better, just a tad bit better. Just have it. I got some problems. I got some issues, but we'll get to that in my season review, where everything can be said concisely and properly and in a proper fashion, so that all my points are hitting exactly as they need to be. Okay. Faceless said. Wait. Oh wait. Actually, I'm gonna go up a little bit higher. Versus Maki said, Aria has a point. Andrea's power up was gonna go through the roof. Well, I hope. Brent said Andrea has a different role. Where's the setup though, Brent? I'm being serious. Where's the setup at? Can I get some more setup for her? Please. I'm begging, actually. I'm begging for like setup. We ain't seen her since she dragged out Shay, which is fine, because it makes sense to not see her given the current conflict. But okay, wait. Faceless said, wait. Faceless said, nah, Brent did boy Berto filthy. He did read more filthy, low key. That's just me though. Wait. Okay. Wait. Still no Abijah talent description, Brent. Facts. Okay, more Brent Glaze. Brent Glaze. He pulls up to these streams regularly. I wouldn't say regularly. Well, he might watch. He might watch them. So technically, he might pull up to them regularly. I don't really know. I can't see who specifically is in here when y'all are in here, unless you chat. So, but he has technically been in others. So, yeah, I have aura. All right, I've been begging this man to keep Kofi alive. Honestly, he can kill Kofi. It doesn't really matter to me. But I don't think the story's anything crazy if Kofi dies. It's a good feat. One of the God tier has to die. One of them, or the God tier aren't a threat. So like, if Kofi is the one that dies, my personal pick, I would pick the two M's. You can get those guys out of here for sure. Minamoto and Mikhail, they can go. Especially Minamoto, because I want my boy Orion. I need him at the top. Okay, let me keep going. What would you say? Wait. What would you say biggest problem narrative? Wait. You brought that around. What would you say biggest narrative problem you can see this season? For me, it's that Brent doesn't have the help or time to enmity things properly. The biggest narrative issue, or I guess if there's like an overall problem we're looking at, what you're pointing out is probably one of the biggest issues. But that's kind of on him. It's kind of on him. It just depends on how he would go about getting that help and that aid. I have opinions on things regarding that, but I'm not sure if that's how he would do it. Essentially, like y'all saw the art. Y'all saw the art I had on the screen earlier. If I got to pick, I would pick him to help Brent. That's just me though, and I'm gonna say that again in my review. That's just me though. But that depends on like them both as individuals. Because what if Brent was like, you know what, that's a good idea, and he reaches out. But what if Ronan doesn't want to do it? If he doesn't want to do it, then that's just on him. Then Brent has to find somebody else who he's confident in, who can actually keep up with his drawing pace and art style, right? But outside of that, like outside of the IRL things, I guess like the inverse, like the actual writing, right now I think the biggest problems are lack of character development. There's just like not enough development, just not enough. Like, I feel like we're too far in the series, or maybe not character development, maybe lack of development as a whole. If I had to say it, like, it doesn't feel like we are as developed in the story as we should be. I feel like certain questions should already have answers, I guess. Like, a really good example would be um how characters are ranked. Like, how? We don't know that, and we're on season 3. I feel like we should know that already. And I feel like Andrea, or a sort of somewhat other notable S rank, could do that job, right? Essentially, you know. Outside of like that, I guess, like, if we wanted to put it like another specific spotlight, I would say character development. Um, if I wanted to use another specific character, I'm actually gonna move away from Andrea because I'm gonna read Brent's comment. But Azam, for what he's supposed to be in the future, doesn't feel as developed as he could right now. Like, it would be very nice to see more of how Lewis's death has affected him in current time, right? In current time. It's gonna be nice to see it in the future, but it would be nice to actually see those initial steps right now before we get there, right? I feel like my points have been made. Okay, Brent said Andrea's obsession was being great to a fault. Shay shifts that for her, but yeah, I gotta touch up the writing and make it better. Just hit my line, Brent. I got you. Just hit my line, man. Just hit my line. I'm gonna help you. Only if you want it, though. All you gotta do, what's that term? No, show and not tell wouldn't hit right here. Just hit my line, Brent. Me and you can be on the same page. You just gotta help, like, flip the page there. You know what I'm saying? Like I might be looking at the wrong page. You just flip the page, and we're on the same page. You know what I'm saying? Just hit my line. I got some good critiques. He said, keep pointing out faults though. Brent, you're gonna get at least a 30-minute video. At least. It's gonna be W Glaze, W critiques. Only when the season's done though. W Brent Glaze, W Brent accepting critiques. Brent, I gotta know, man. Did you take any inspiration from Ghost of Tsushima in making the story? Because Shay Paths reminds me of Jin so much. Ghost of Tsushima probably took like a little bit of inspiration from Star Wars. That's kind of what Brent's going for, but I don't know. I don't know a lot about a lot of stuff, so who knows? Solid critiques. I'd hope so. Brent can kill anyone he wants so long as Shay makes it through the end of the series. Yeah, you're not getting that one, buddy. It's almost implied he might kill Shay. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's almost implied he might kill Shay. Like, but that could be my personal interpretation. But from way back when, the way he was wording, that guy's gonna go, bro. And it's okay. How? Couldn't tell you, but no, he might be out of here, and that's okay. Me personally, I'm fine with that. Okay, keep going. W Orion or Orion. Or there should be an apostrophe in his name. Hey, Brent, add an apostrophe to his name so I can say it right. I feel like everything is just going too fast in season 3. I agree. Pacing. Yeah, you could say pacing. Like Shay character, the first table death. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Shay's character, but the first table shouldn't have died in one episode. Who's your favorite god tier, Jay? It sounds like you like none of them. Currently, I like Mikhail. I like Mikhail and Zuri, but I don't like know them like that. So if I had to like pick somebody else, it would be Sabito because it's Sabito. But like currently, if I got to pick who I wanted to see more from and know more about, it would be Mikhail and Zuri. Mikhail because I like the way his character is implied to be. I like the type of character I think he's supposed to represent. and Zuri because she's a fan made character with a fan made talent, and I want to see how Brent actually implements that into the story. Um, so then I can kind of critique and work in my own stuff. Um, Brent is all love anyway. We just are critical because we know you can cook. The Faceless gets it. Yeah, I agree, Faceless. We just want to see Brent go up. I think that's why we're so hard on him, kind of. Yeah, I feel like ever since I read season two, I felt that Ordeal has the potential to be one of the greatest pieces of fiction ever. But in current time, right now, I cannot agree with that sentiment. It's just not the case. There are some amazing things though. Like there's some really good things here that people kind of like either overlook or ridicule unnecessarily. But they should be really pointing at other things. What I'm guessing is that most of them aren't developed enough because it's not that important for the story overall. I mean, yeah, but like, who cares? Like, I mean, let me look at bro. Like, let me see him. Let me see him. Let me see her. Let them do that. I feel like at that point, it's like, what's the point of introducing all these characters if we're not gonna know who they are? You know what I mean? Like, or what's the point of introducing a character if they're not gonna have some sort of relevance? Like, he could have did a top five instead of a top 10, right? But he did a top 10 instead of a top five, right? So you know, and then he also did the hands, right? So it's like we have all these characters, and we have all these characters that we're interested in seeing. Like, I don't care about Shay right now. I don't give a fuck about Shay. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care. Shay has had enough spotlight. He's had enough time to get all his glaze, all his ore farm. Cool, 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 cool. Where's Tevin? Where's Azam? Lewis did his thing. Where's Andrea? Fuck. Where's Yukiko? Super. Where's Yukiko? Um. Again. Fuck. Where's Mikhail? Where's Mina? Well, Minamoto got a little bit of shine. Reed got hoed. Reed got super hoed, in my opinion. He got upstaged by a human. That's crazy. Like where the Gaki at? Like what is the Gaki's actual relationship with Vale? Like things like that, you know. Um, uh, yeah, okay. Vatic though can't stand, bro. Yeah, I don't like Vatic. I've never liked Vatic, and it's not even because of like what his powers are. It's just well, he just don't like design wise. He don't do it for me. Like character wise, he don't do it for me. Like and then like Okeanos doesn't help at all. It's probably because I'm an Ilios Glazer. Um, okay, so Jay's a Sabito fan, but oof, I don't know what that means. Why do you think Brent only shows us Shay? I mean, I know he's the main character of the story, but aren't we all curious about other characters as well? Exactly. Shay's getting packed by Tevin, possibly. I hope so. That'd be great. From how he said it, that'd be great. Favorite Gaki? The Beast Gaki. I would love to see the Beast Gaki. And the Beast Gaki is interesting to me not just because of his character, his like shift ability. It's because he comes from a clan, and I would love to see that clan be explored. We got a little bit of exploration with the Hemlocks this season, but just because just the fact that another clan out there exists, it makes me more interested in him because it can play into his character, it can play into who he is, kind of like Kaguya. It feels like the pacing is all over the place. I thought this said plain, and that the chapters get shorter and shorter. I don't know how y'all perceive the chapters as being short. Like I don't know yet. The chapter length is fine. Y'all probably too used to like other long chapters. Like y'all too used to like really long chapters, man. Right? Like for example, like Tower of God or God of High School or shit. Maybe even a Soul Leveling. Like the length of the chapters is fine. Like it's really fine. It's the content what's really that important. If every chapter was the same length, especially like this season, perfect. But they can even be as short as last season as long as what we're getting from them is of value. I would much rather read a short and long chapter that has relevance to the overall story than a short and long chapter that could have been cut out. You know what I mean? So, in my opinion, overall chapter length doesn't matter as long as the content itself is like worthwhile. We should have we should have been got a Tevin backstory. I'm gonna be honest. We should have gotten a backstory on all of them. Tevin's not important to get his own backstory outside of everybody else, right? Like, the only reason Lewis got one in the way he did is because it was relevant to the current the current actions. I don't think there's a good place to put a specific Tevin backstory right now. Um, but it would have been better if we got like a, I guess like a kid backstory for all of them, like in the first season. I mean, it'd be cool, but what would that? I think it's supposed to say B for real. Potential man at God tier. You talking about Vatic? What did I miss? I had to dip for a sec. Nothing crazy. All right, I'm caught up. It's just like Ordeal can be really good. Um, Especially for all the people who are Christians and like want that Christian sort of media to sort of reach the masses in a different way. It's really good for that as well, right? But currently, we're not we're not moving in a direction, or at least there are specific things that aren't being done that are hindering the story as a whole, like just overall hindrance. Um, for example, and I'm glad you brought it up, Krishna. You said, and man, what happened to Kevin Morales? A perfect example of an underdeveloped character and something that is just hindering the story. Kevin flew to the sun, and I think I'm not sure if it was pointed out in a comment section or if Wolf Nar mentioned it. Do I think height equals power? For certain characters, yes. For others, no. Abijah's 3 foot tall, and he's a god tier at rank 4. Um, the only characters where height actually matters, like in terms of power, are maybe Konos, uh, grade 4 users like Kevin and Vatic. Uh, if Shay, I guess if Shay wanted to be taller, yeah, but most characters are like a sort of average height, and it doesn't really equate, especially if we look at like I said, like Abijah. But even if we look at like someone like Minamoto, who's significantly taller than Abijah, but he's ranked lower, or somebody like Reed or Mikhail, who are like the same height, you know what I mean? So it really only matters for specific characters because they have specific reasons as to why they're that tall and why it matters for them. Like you said, Thanatos technically, yeah, him as well, right? He's also that tall because of who he is and how his talent affects somebody. Like, for example, this guy, this guy, this guy is a Thanatos wielder who is just massive, and he's sitting down and he's still taller than all 4 of them. You know what I mean? It's like it only matters because of him being a Thanatos wielder, not because like it's because you're taller, you're stronger, But going back to Kevin, Kevin, and I'll mention this in my review, should have gotten a flashback related to Leo. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. It makes. I guess I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it makes sense because of the sort of hype that came with the trailer. The information we got from season 2, the kind of hype he got at the end of the season, and then his appearance in this season, it just makes sense for us to know more about him. Even if we don't see him again, it at the very least we know why he feels the way he does. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he tells us, but we don't actually see how he and Leo interacted at all outside of Kevin literally cowering in fear and watching Leo fight for his life. You know what I mean? Like, that's not enough. And Kevin's a grown ass man now. He could be somebody's grandfather. So what sort of history do he and Leo share that would leave him in the state he is currently? You know what I mean? To fly all the way to a planet close to the sun to have that same semblance of warmth. But his brother's dead, and that's what he's doing that for, right? I feel like it just makes sense for us to get that sort of detailing now, or at like 117, like 117. Like if I had to pick, I'm just saying, Brent, I got some ideas and I got some ideas, but if I had to pick, we would either be seeing a flashback of Kevin destroying his body or a simple flashback that shows Kevin's relationship with Leo after Kevin left, and it's told that he's on the moon, right? Or not on the moon. Yeah, he's like, I think, what did it say? Mercury. Essentially, he's closer to the sun, right? They can't reach him. We would have gotten a flashback right there. Perfect. Boom. Right. It doesn't disrupt what's happening, and it just adds context to what we just saw. Right. That's good. You know. And you said, Jay, you're a goat, man. I try to be like good. I don't try to be like great. I try to be as good as possible. If being as good as possible makes me the goat, then you know. Okay, I'm surprised we didn't get a flashback of them training or when he first used his talent around Leo or him telling himself. I think I also mentioned in my trailer breakdown that we don't even know when Kevin awoke in his talent, right? We don't even know when that happened. We never see it. So to get any sort of semblance of history on Kevin doing things during the war like Leo would have been also nice as well. And I understand why, but we could have gotten something around Elsa, Leo's wife. Fuck Elsa. I don't care about that lady. I don't care about that lady. Elsa only matters if right now. I think a good way to connect Elsa would be with Keith or Jamie, but and for the most part, and it's kind of bad, but Elsa's just Leo's wife. They have history, and Elsa's also Kevin's sister, but like she's not so important to the plot that we need information about her. Like she's not so important, you know what I mean? Like like let me how do I put this in a way that like makes perfect sense? I guess the yeah, like from what we have in the story, she doesn't need we don't need to see more of just her unless it's in relation to Kevin, essentially. The only way you can, and I guess this is kind of how I write, is that if we're seeing a character or we're seeing character relations, it's because they directly relate to a character of actual importance and more relevance, right? So the only way we can get information on Elsa is if we're getting information on Kevin or on Leo. That's the only real time it matters, right? So what we know about Elsa comes from what we know about Leo, essentially. Her character is attached to him. Um, so the only way it makes sense for us to get something on Elsa or any sort of like reason to use her, it has to directly correlate to them, right? And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm not saying we can't get things on Elsa, but she's not more important than Leo himself or, like Kevin or like anything that's kind of going on right now that she as an individual needs to be highlighted unless it relates to like Keith or Jamie or Leo or Kevin or things like that, right? It could even it could even relate to Shay and Yukiko when they were younger, right? Like we could also get something like that. That would make sense because it relates to characters of genuine current relevance. But Elsa as her own entity, eh, eh. I got to see my dad Kaguya Heart. Kaguya is also another character we should know more of. And there's actually a really good point to some sort of hint at it if it isn't shown out right. Brent, like I said before, is a very good writer. Love his work, love his story, but I feel like when it comes to the other characters, he doesn't really give them time. Yeah, I mean that's pretty clear. That's pretty clear. It's not like a. Is that like crazy to say? Like no, it's clear. We can see it. We can actively see it. Like I said, where's Azam? Where's Andrea? Where's Yukiko? Like And when I say where's Azam, I genuinely mean that. I put that in a review. Like, why? Where's Azam right now? What is he doing? Where's Abijah? Is Abijah like trying to help him through it? Does Abijah give a fuck? Like, what are we doing? What's he doing? What's going on? You know what I mean? Why is Azam not getting no real setup? Essentially, there's not enough setup for Azam to be a rogue right now, unless we're like actively seeing something, right? And he can be a crash out, that's fine, but like, where is it? Like, where's it at? Azam is going through it. I mean, yeah, but like, how? Like, what's he doing? Is he? Jay, we're flawed humans. If you're good is your best and people flock to it, that makes you a man worth respecting. W Glaze. Shout out Ariel. Shout out Ariel. However y'all want to pronounce it. W comment. W chat. Y'all put some dubs in the chat for bro. Very inspirational. What time is it? 7:21. I have work really early in the morning. It's Thanksgiving. Oh, brother. I don't even want to think about tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even want to think about tomorrow. I gotta eat still. I gotta shower. Cause you know I'm sweaty in this hot ass room, like Berlizzi said. And I gotta wake up at 4 in the morning. It's kind of odd how Shay is acting like he didn't kill his wife. Well, I mean, she's alive, so did he really kill her? No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. That's another thing. Like certain elements are glossed over when I guess they can be, but like, and I'm gonna have a section called missed opportunities in my review where little comments in the season could have been expanded on, right? So like, not specifically in relation to Shay essentially killing his wife, but the comment Tevin makes about the world wanting answers, I would enjoy an actual, you know, debate or discussion in regards to Code trying to explain the events that happened in Trinidad. It it just makes sense. Like it only makes sense. It can't make any more sense, right? And before, the code heads get off, it would have been kind of nice to see them in that sort of political sort of struggle to try and explain their actions and things that they are directly involved in, right? It just makes sense. So like that would be a missed opportunity in my opinion, and that's something I guess I could write it down as an example right now. But I do plan to kind of go back through the season and reread it for enjoyment, but also for like analytical purposes to kind of see the things I enjoyed about the season, the things I disliked about the season, and really get a concise overview of what is good and bad about it from my perspective, right? And this season, in my opinion, is really riddled with missed opportunities. Like it's riddled with them. There's a lot that can be done that doesn't. Not all of it needs to be done, but there are some that in my opinion, are somewhat necessary. Right? Like they're somewhat necessary. That's not one of them. Well, it's kind of one of them. I I wouldn't say it's necessary, but if it was in the story, it shouldn't be taken out, basically, right? So there are some things you could kind of take out, but that wouldn't be one of them if it was in. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I love your videos. Keep up the good work. Hey man, appreciate you. Still trying to like perfect my craft. I might have to up my thumbnail game at some point. I've already gotten like the visual quality down. I got like an upscaler, so like all the images are just like higher resolution. They're a lot more clear if y'all ever noticed that. So there's that. Still working on the audio quality. It kind of like it's like good and it's not bad. It's just like it's not perfect in my opinion. It's not like okay, this is like I don't need to do anything else here. I think I'm close, but I'm not there yet, and that's okay. I think my scripting and analytical abilities will only just improve over time, so that's not something I'm worried about. Honestly, do not go back and watch my do not go back and watch my first videos. But like, I am a far cry from where I was when I first started. Far cry. And so that's just only gonna get better as time goes on. You know? So yeah, appreciate you. Is this season finished? No, there's still like I did the math earlier. I think we, including the fast pass episodes, if we're still going to 50, I think we have like 4 more episodes left. What's good, Links? Tiger background J? Stop it. Stop it. You know that Tiger has a name? It's actually related to a character in my story too. Relevant to you as well, sir. Hello, I'll hit you about it later. Also, how do you think Shay got the title Enemy of Mankind? Because we know how he got the title Ronin, so how do you think he got that title Enemy of Mankind? So I could see that being the case if Shay sort of stayed the course of what he did in episode 145, right? If like if Shay was the same, like doing the same things, I guess like throughout the world with nobody really understanding his reasoning, I could understand how the world would view him as an enemy to mankind because he's essentially just blowing up places and murking people to get to Thanatos. That's the only way it could make sense. Sandman said propaganda. If Thanatos is able to sort of take control of certain governments, that also makes sense because he could then pose himself as a sort of good guy while posing Shay as the bad guy, right? That makes sense. If it goes that way, I can't tell. I just cannot tell. Like, if unless you also want to say Code is the one doing the propaganda because he is an enemy of Code. They're not allies, but they're not full enemies, but they're not full allies either, right? We've seen Shay kill people who associate with Code, so they're not partners, right? Shay does not associate with those guys anymore. So you could argue that Code is the ones who are kind of pushing this, like, if you see this man run, he's a threat, all those sort of notions, and that would make sense, right? It could be Thanatos, it could be Code, but Code also isn't actively sending out people to murk Shay, probably because nobody can, but if they could, I still don't think they would do it. Unless it was like the theory I had way back at the start of the season where it was Andrea going to get Shay, right? Unless it was something like that, which obviously that's not possible now. Do you want to publish your stories? They'll get published on YouTube. That's how they'll get published. Not gonna lie, I like the gold teeth pick in your old videos. It was cool, but it was something I stole, so I had to give it up before I got hit with like a lawsuit. You know what I mean? It wasn't like my own in any sort of way. And technically the image I have on screen isn't my own in any sort of way, but like it got my name on it, so it's enough. It's enough. Brent, don't sue me, please. You know I don't got the money for that. Hello. Something his brother said to him always bugged me. He said that Shay's going to join him in heaven soon, like he was fated to defeat Thanatos and die, but maybe he chose a different path. I'm telling you, bro, Shay's gonna die. And that's why he becomes the enemy of mankind. That doesn't correlate properly. Hey, bro, Shay's gonna die. And honestly, I'm all for it. Get this nigga out of here. I'm tired of seeing him. Wasn't Shay killing moles? On the moon? Kind of. Brent Dev supports what you doing. You good, Brody? Because I said don't sue me. Yeah, you're right though. You're right. He popped in here. He could still be watching. Hello. Brent might actually be watching when I do like the ordeal related thumbnails, so he can listen in and be like, "Oh shit, that's a good idea, Jay. Let me write that down." Or you know what? That's an ass point. He could be doing things like that, you know. I am the reason. I am the reason Thanatos has Malhazar's sword. So shout out to me, I guess. Even though I didn't want that, not even a little bit. But hey, you know, beggars can't be choosers, right? Ha 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 ha. Your story gonna have some mythology related stuff in it. I mean, in relation to talents, yeah, but nothing like crazy. It's nothing crazy. Like the same way Brent, my story is essentially supposed to be a fanfic, a canon fanfic, right? My goal is for it to be canon, right? So the way I write it is the way I perceive and write, I guess, would write for Ordeal, but for my own personal enjoyment, I guess. Um, so there'll be mythological elements, but it'll be in relation to talents. Like, I have a character. He has an ancient dragon talent, and I obviously I pulled different sorts of inspiration, but um, he has an ancient dragon talent, but it's named after Shin. No, a Chinese deity, the female Chinese deity, right? So there's some in mythological aspect right there, right? Um, I'm trying to think of another example. I want to do some. I want to like. The goal of the story is also to kind of expand on certain things, like. So I have a character who I want to have a talent that's based on a location. You know what I mean? Or based on a location isn't a good description. Like his talent has direct ties to a specific place. You know, that's what I'll say. Yeah, that's what I'll say. And it's like a semi notable thing in history too. So I kind of want to expand on what a talent can be as well in that regard. There are some other mythological aspects, like I have a kitsune related talent, um, but the way it's done is unique to the character and who the character is related to, I guess, and like how their talent is supposed to play into their personality. You know what I mean? Um, I kind of I like the concept of curse chi because it expands. It there's a lot to kind of do there, and there's some ways I expand on that in the story as well. Um, there's just like certain things I want to do. But yes, there will be mythological aspects in relation to talents. There would be like sort of expansive things, I guess. I have. I wish Klutz was in the chat right now. He has a lot of talent weapons, with some of them having mythological elements, that I know for a fact I will use one, or a couple, but there are others that I don't think I'll use, but they do have mythological aspects. So if I ever feel the need to use it, or if I think it has a good, it could help play a good story element, I will add it, right? The one I plan to use is mythological related, and it has a good story element, right? So, yeah, yeah. So to answer your question, yes, but in a specific way. It is still a Christian story, so I want to make sure I'm hitting sort of Christian or biblical lessons, I guess. Like the main character that I saw that I showed earlier, and his mentor that I also showed. Um, there are certain things and aspects I want to do with them, but then there's also another character who's a female who has close relations to the main character, who I want to sort of represent as kind of what a kind of what like it looks like for a woman to kind of help reinforce her partner or her husband, essentially, right? But I kind of do that throughout the course of their ages. Like, so it's not just when they're older, but it's also shown when they're younger as well, which you'll kind of see in certain points. It's like it's clear, but maybe a little too clear actually. But it's kind of clear. There's very very clear notions there, right? They also end up together, so duh, right? Anything else? Let me look. I mean, with the KCG guys, he kills, it was justified, but I have a theory the code heads gets killed or corrupted. If Shay does die, how would you want to replace him? If Shay dies, he doesn't need to be replaced. The story just ends. Like, Shay doesn't. When Ordeal ends, there doesn't need to be a continuation to it. We can only, like, it doesn't need to go past. We can only look backwards, basically. I don't want. I think Ordeal is a story that you don't want to continue by going ahead, because you would somewhat be essentially saying, and I think Brent has made this point as well. You would essentially be redacting everything that happened up until the end, right? So if Ordeal ends on like a sort of, good prevails all, or good triumphs over evil, like Brent said, to have another villain or another, I guess, like grander threat would be bad. But what we can do is we can essentially take a look in the past and kind of look at characters like Mato Hagen or past Thanatos vessels who were problems in history. I don't think it's a good idea to continue Ordeal that way. I think it's only a good idea to continue Ordeal by looking at the past after the series is over. Like, especially if there are still questions and lore points that can be expanded upon. Like imagine if we got a sort of like, let's just say, the Oduzo clan that the Beatsgaki comes from doesn't really get any sort of like explanation, like full explanation. Like, we get a little something, but more can be expanded, right? It would be cool if Brent did like a one-shot chapter, and this is a concept I think would just be good in general for a lot of things. If Brent just did like a one-shot chapter, kind of just detailing kind of who they are, what they stand for, what they do, how they operate, and if they were massacred, or they fell, or like they had a civil war, detail that as well, right? And kind of it leads into something in relation to the Beast Gaki, right? That would be cool, right? I think Ordeal thrives, or can thrive, in that way. I don't think you can continue Ordeal after Thanatos is defeated and Shay is dead, right? Unless you, and the only real way you can is sort of if you end the story and then we do like a jump 20 or 30 years later where we see somebody like Tevin, at the gym, like, or we see like, we kind of like take a look at certain characters' lives and how they ended up, right? That's the only way you can keep it going. But even then, that's not a sort of, that's more of an extended ending as opposed to a continuation, right? I personally would not continue Ordeal after it ends by continuing to write bigger and grander threats or things like that. I would simply regress and look at the past, look at what I could fill in, and yeah, I guess essentially look at what I can fill in and ask, I guess, the fandom what they're looking for that I might have missed or overlooked that could be expanded upon, in sort small little inserts and little points, right? There's technically Ordeal covers all of like history, so there's so much that can just be changed and like played around with because Kenjos exist like in history, right? Like, there's a lot that can be changed, right? Especially if you also want to keep doing like little lessons in here and there. There's a lot to be done, and it only makes sense to do it that way as opposed to just keep going and like, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be as good. It would be like okay, well, if Shay's dead, who the fuck is this new guy? You know what I mean? All right, let me go back up. Do you think physical living talents like the twins are born or just appear? I think they appear. I think they're created, or if talents are like a physical sphere that is like embedded in the soul, a living talent, like I guess like Kong or specifically the twins, are that, but actually given shape. They're given a full shape, and they're given sentience, and they're given awareness, right? That's what it would look like, in my opinion. I think that makes the most sense. That's a good question, Sandman. Like, since you are born with your talent, wouldn't the twins be there since he was born, or were they created later on in his life? You're talking about in relation to Reed, because they're older than him. So They're older than him, so um, essentially, I guess they would be like they would exist. They would literally simply just exist, right? Like they wouldn't be born in a conventional sense. They would be like it'd be like I don't think even think there's like a analogy I can use. They would literally just be created, right? I guess almost like the same way God made Adam and Eve, but out of chi, like out of pure chi, basically. That's actually a really good comparison. Instead of like being born, they would just be molded from chi. Do you think Shay's story is was inspired by Job and Abraham? Um, Probably Job. Actually, I think Brent could do a lot with that as well, especially if we look at like. Uh, I guess Shay is the only character we could fully relate Job to. I don't actually remember Abraham's story if I'm being honest, but I think so. I guess specifically Shay, I would say yeah. Um, I'd say yeah. But I don't think a lot of the other characters are like that as a whole. In my opinion. I feel like Brent should definitely do a lot of one shots when it comes to Ordeal because we still have a lot of unanswered questions. Yeah, but the series also isn't over because so yeah, like I agree, but we have to wait for the series to be over to be like, okay, this should get a one shot. This should get a one shot. Like this should have been expanded on. Like can we get this? You know what I mean? And I feel like Brent's the type of person to be like, okay, these guys still want this thing I drew. Let's do a poll. Let's vote on it. And I feel like that's fair, right? I feel like he wouldn't do a lot though, which kind of sucks. So let's lock in, Brent. Let's lock in. Let's answer as many questions as possible, please. I don't feel like spending the next 5 years going, oh man, I wonder what this and this is. Fair one or two epilogue would be cool. Do you think it would be wait? Do you think it would even make sense for Shay to survive at the end? It just depends on how it's like how it's written and like what the course is. I can't. Shay can Shay can like live as like a hermit basically, like on his master Roshi without being as pervy. Like that's okay as well. But it also makes sense for him to potentially just die and like actually, fulfill his purpose and then leave the earth. That also makes sense. And the past could be a darker story if we wanted. Yeah, whole lot of like Kimyo racism. Uh, Made from chi in the land. I wouldn't even say they're made from the land. They're probably just made from chi. Like somebody like Hisame. Hisame is literally chi and spirit. So it's essentially possible for an entity to exist as pure chi. Depends specifically spawned. Maybe the same way God created Eve. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to say Eve, I think. Maybe he'll let someone else pick it up while he's overseas and works on other shit. Hell no. I wouldn't want that for him, but I don't even think he would do that. I think Brent takes pride in, at least to a certain degree, I think Brent takes pride in what Ordeal is for him. It doesn't make sense for him to be like, oh, okay, I finished Ordeal. Let somebody else like keep it going. Like, no, he would just put Ordeal down and then start something else. Like he would essentially just put Ordeal's pen down. Like if he has a pencil that says Ordeal, he would put that pencil down and pick up the pencil that says, insert series here. Like the one with the griffins and the knights and stuff. Which is a book in the Ordeal verse, which is kind of cool. That's how I see that. I don't think it makes sense. It's also like a webtoon property, so webtoon gives him kind of creative freedom over how it goes, and I don't think webtoon would go, okay, like you're doing what am I trying to say? Like you're doing bad, or your story's going here, or you're done with it. We're gonna give it to somebody else so they can work on it, and then you can do this, right? Like I don't think they would do that for. They're like sort of one of like the stars of the series, and like especially after it's done, doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, that's probably why Tevin is a narrator, not because he's close to Shay, but because everyone else is dead. I don't think everyone is dead. Depending on what Andrea's role is, she might live. If I'm being honest, by the end of the series, I think Tevin lives, Yukiko lives, like Elon Jr. lives. I feel like killing another killing a Hemlock clan head wouldn't be as good narratively, unless it's like supposed to do something that you know you do what you want with that. But I think those three definitively live. If Shay's dead, Andrea might still be alive, but Anton's dead, and I'm gonna say Azam is dead too. Like by the end of the series, I think it kind of makes sense for a rogue like Azam to just die somehow, right? Like I think he's gonna die, or I think it makes sense for him to be dead as opposed to some of the others, right? I think it makes sense for Andrea to have like a sort of widow aspect to her character because Shay's dead. It makes sense for Tevin to be alive to train the next generation like Leo. That makes sense. But Azam kind of has like no reason, I guess, like no active reason to be alive as he is. Like the way his character looks, he just gonna, yeah, Azam going out in a blaze of glory. Yeah, it just makes sense. It makes more sense for Azam to be dead than him to be alive, as opposed to it making more sense for Tevin to be alive than to be dead, right? Andrea could die, which is she could die, but I think it makes sense for if Shay is dead, Andrea to have like a widow type of character, or like she is a widowed individual, right? Maybe she doesn't have like the perfect life, or maybe her life is like a little bit better, however that is gonna look. But she like keeps mementos of Shay, with her, right? I think that would make sense for her character, unless something horrible goes wrong with him. Then Andrea could probably die, and then it just further, hardened Shay's heart, things like that. Blah 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 blah. You guys get the point. Wait, so why didn't Malhazar just let the original three seal Thanatos for good? That's not how it works. Um, One, the only seal we know of is Ordained Judgment, and we don't know how long that's been around. I guess it could have been around during Malhazar's time, but it may not have. Um, but the prophecy is essentially that all of their talents will live if unless Thanatos is like actively dead, like how the three of them kill him, or he becomes a good person, right? Yeah, there's also like the notion, especially during with Veil's flashback, like Faceless points out, we don't know if they're all active at the same time. It's kind of implied that none of them are actively or always alive or in a user at the same time. This seems to be a sort of rare occurrence. Even with Leo and Kevin, it seems to be sort of rare that even those two existed at the same time, right? And then also adding Vatic on there, now we have Ilios with Shay, who was directly transferred, right? So now we still have all four vessels existing at the same time. When it seems to be implied, especially if we look at who the users of each talent were, for only like maybe one or two of them, maybe three of them to be alive. And so like if I had to pick, and I actually asked Brent this, in regards to Vadic's or not Vadic's Theal's flashback, and Verdant Duel, asked him, will we see other users of the Great Four, specifically Okeanos and Kasagita, because it's implied that none of the other users of Ilios would be around during that time. Like a Ilios user essentially wouldn't exist during when he's alive, right? So it makes sense for one of them to be the sort of Great Four vessel of that era. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, yeah. His answer to that was maybe. So we'll either see it or we won't. Uh, Maybe take the Four Lords role as assassin and information gatherer. I'm not sure what that's in relation to. How do you feel about Vale escaping at the end, like the end of the fight, like specifically with after he killed Lewis? I don't really care. Doesn't like I'm not like jumping for joy about it, but I'm not like down in the dirts about it. Like he can get away as long as he dies eventually. Like honestly, he can die this season. That'd be perfectly fine with me. It'd actually even make me happy. But if he lives, it's also okay. Like it's also okay. As it is right now, Val's just a better villain. So if he lives and like actually becomes a problem again, that'd be cool. But if he doesn't, Thanatos and Brent with his writing gotta step it up because right now Thanatos ain't shit. I'm gonna say it. Thanatos isn't like a real threat. Like he's supposed to be a threat, and he's like, I guess a good tactician in like the versus eyes. But like, if Shay and him ran the ones right now, he's dead. I guarantee it's almost guaranteed he's dead. So it's like, what does Thanatos do that Val kind of couldn't, basically? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So like, if Val dies, it gives more room for Thanatos to be an actual good villain, right? But right now, Val is washed and Thanatos kind of stuck. So it's like, what are we doing? Do you think the other great four talents are going to help out Shay in the final battle? No. He said, let Vale rage bait, bro. Thanatos can yell louder than him. Right now, they're both kind of washed. But Vale has more like evil presence than Thanatos. Like, if we replace, I'm not gonna lie, if we replace Vale with Thanatos at like every point in the story, it doesn't really change, and that's kind of a problem. Like it's kind of a problem. That means there's essentially no need for it to be written that there's essentially no need for it to be written that Bjorn damn near smites Vale with a hammer. He could just escape, and then he could kind of do the same thing this season, right? Not to say that that's a good sentence of writing, but it almost makes a little bit more sense to have Thanatos be the villain sort of in the future 3 seasons as opposed to these 3 seasons. Like, I feel like it would have been a little bit better if Vale was still the current threat as opposed to Thanatos specifically. With Vale kind of only bringing Thanatos back kind of near the middle or end of like his own era, basically, right? Because right now, if we just kept Vale as the main villain up until like the end of this season, nothing overall changes. I mean, certain events obviously wouldn't occur to a certain capacity, but certain events would also occur. And I feel like we can conceptually write Vale better if he's the main villain still this season and he's actually deploying his like the Gaki, as opposed to Thanatos, who kind of doesn't do much. He's like kind of menacing from a reader standpoint, but from like a reader standpoint of Vale killed Sabito last season. He's half the reason Bjorn is dead, so there's that. He's the reason May and Sabito are dead. I think I just said that. He's not the he's not the reason Leo is dead, but the fact that he essentially watched both of his enemies, like his biggest threats, die is menacing enough, right? It's menacing enough. He's essentially like, oh, I mean, if he takes him out, we just have a better shot. Like that's menacing, right? Yeah, and then he literally killed Lewis, and he was going to kill Azam, but he killed Lewis. So Vale has like more dip on his chip than Thanatos, and Thanatos is his superior. And it just don't hit. It don't hit, man. It don't hit. Yeah. I was talking about Azam and maybe he'll control the government of the world, being more cunning than imposing. Uh, yeah. I mean, I can see that for him. Like, I can see that for Thanatos, because there's setup for it, but if there's no payoff, it almost doesn't matter. Like you're talking about Azam. Honestly, Azam can die. Azam can die. Azam. I'm not gonna say Azam is irredeemable. That wouldn't be right to say. But I mean, if he's just gonna be like a nigga who's just killing everybody and crashing out, then what do we need him around for, bro? Like, what is he gonna do? Like, he's not helping the good guys, but he's not helping the bad guys either. So he's just a nigga who's angry and just spreading malice and evil in chaos intention. You get the point I'm making. It's like what is he doing? Like, how is he adding to the story? I know Naomi wants him to kill Abijah, but like after he does that, where do we go from there then? Like, okay, is he a rogue because he killed Abijah? Is his role to kill Abijah and then kind of like scream at niggas? Like what do we go from there? Now he just like an official threat and like you know what I mean? Like where do we go from there? You know, it doesn't no like there's like I'm not saying there's nothing you can do with Azam's character that wouldn't be true, but as of right now, he's just like being stunted in a way where like there's no visible route he can go even after he becomes a rogue. That was good, Nocturnal. Just cracking the fuck up. That's funny. Oh, you meant Thanatos controlling the government? I know. That's what I was talking about. Nah, Abijah killing Azam makes sense. That also makes sense, and you know, it's fine. That's fine. I don't like Abijah or Azam enough to like actually care um what happens to them. But from like a reader standpoint and like someone who enjoys the series, I just want more for them. But overall, they're not characters I care about. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about their impact to the story because I don't care about them specifically. Or I care about other characters more than them. Like how Batman will break every bone in your body just for jaywalking. It's funny. Are you eating pizza tonight, bro? I need you to eat it. Pause. Super pause. I almost want to delete your chat for that. And no, I'm not eating pizza. I'm gonna eat chicken tenders and probably some like barbecue sauce or ranch. Actually, what time is it? Might get off at like 7:30. That wasn't even intentional. That's fine. Oh, you said bro's just a wild dog at that point? Exactly. He's just like causing problems. And like I guess that's fine, but like narratively, what the fuck does that do for us? Like what does that do? Who do you care about in the story? Tevin, Yukiko. I didn't really care about Lewis, but Lewis was like done good this season, so I don't care about him, but he was done well. So Tevin, Yukiko, Andrea. I really don't care about Azam. And in that same way, I don't care about Azam. I didn't care about Lewis, but Lewis got a good Lewis got good shine. Could have been better, but it's also like still good in its own right. Like I said, the Beast Gaki because he comes from a clan that can be expanded upon. The other Gaki don't care about unless the child Gaki is Shay's brother, you know, then I kind of care about him. But if he's not, then don't give a fuck. I care about. I kind of care about Hanzo or Hanjiro. He's one of my favorite characters. So like, if something else comes from him, that's cool. But if not, I guess. Um, I care about Sabito. Sabito's dead, but he still has great implications, so he just has to get his shine again. Um, I already mentioned Mikhail and Zuri because I like I like the kind of character Mikhail is supposed to be, I think. And Zuri is a fan made character, so I want to see how she's written and like what she actually does. Um, I like what's his name? Orion. I think Orion has some of the best potential in the series, and it would be actually cool to see that potential expanded upon. He also has like one of the more interesting characters that can be looked at from a past standpoint because he was basically mocked and potentially ridiculed and made fun of because his talent wasn't active. He can't actively do anything with his ability other than steal others, right? So I think he has a character that can be expanded upon really well, especially in the verse. So yeah, so like if he dies, it'll be like a waste. It'll be like a waste for me. It'll be like a waste for me specifically. Um, I don't care about Kevin, but Kevin's relevant enough for us to care about him. You know, like if something happens, like if Kevin died this season, I'm perfectly fine. I don't care. But if Kevin dies without like us knowing more about him, waste. Um, that's kind of it though. Oh, I like Mikhail's hand Alice. Yeah, that's it though. Okay, wait. You said I just saw a pretty cool Mikhail talent theory on Ordeal's Reddit. Keep it over there. Do you think it is a bad thing that most people don't care about most of the characters? Yes. I think the Decay Gaki, Corrosion Gaki might have Sabito's head. That'd be interesting. Like that would be interesting. That would be interesting. Jay wants peak high talents. Shifts are up there too. Wait, hold on. Let me go back up. Chicken tenders, man. Nah, you gotta eat some fries with it. Nah, I'm good. That would matter if their story fell through. Wait. Oh, that would matter if their story fell through. Okay, I answered that already. Jay wants peak high talent. Shifts up there too. I want cool characters. I want characters I can look at and be like, oh, that's cool, or oh, like I see what Brent did with this person. I can worry about peak high talents myself. And shift talents, okay. Like Rojangak is a Heartland member. I'm calling it. I mean, it's fine if he's a Heartland member. It would be not lame, but like I like the idea of sort of some of them kind of coming from one clan, or like one of them having a sort of unique factor, and like the child Gakis being that he's a Heart member. But if the Corrosion Gaki is a Heart member, it'd be like a little eh. But I do like the idea that he would have Sabito's head. That'd be kind of interesting. However, that begs the question of why they didn't take his head and like bury it. I guess when they found it, because it was said that they only found his head. So that means they left his head there and took his earrings, and they all went back and was like, "I'm gonna desecrate this," which is in character, in my opinion. Alice. Wait, you said sure I like that over the kid. Honestly, I'd prefer Shay's brother to be the kid. Not, I just, it feels more right to do it that way. Unless Brent like, it's genuine divine writing, and like he makes it so interesting that like, you're like, oh wow, not only did I not see that coming, it was done so well. But if not, it being the kid, which is basically just as fine. That's just me though. He said, "Who is Alice?" Yeah, it's Mikhail's hand. Shout out Alice. Do you even have a favorite god tier in the verse? Like, is any of the god tier your favorite character? Favorite character, Sabito specifically. But if he's dead, but since he's dead, I would say Mikhail and Zuri. Those are the only characters those are the only god tier I actually care about, and I actively want to see from. outside of Kevin because we should be getting something from Kevin anyway. That just makes sense. But um, if I'm looking at the other god tier, um, Mikhail and Zuri. That's it. And the only reason I would care about Minamoto is if he has a fight with the Beast Gaki. That's pretty much it. Oh yeah, why did he put the Puerto Rican flag in the chat? That was funny. Shout out Puerto Rico. Shout out all the Hispanic women out there. Shout out all my Latinas, my Caribbean Latinas, my South American Latinas. Shout out all of them. All beautiful, all amazing. You like cheese? What is his name? I'm probably innocent. He definitely did whatever we think he did. You think Mikhail can throw hands like Daredevil? Probably. I think his blindness can be a really cool factor, but it doesn't have to be important to his character. It's it's not like crazy. Actually, I shouldn't say that because it's pretty relevant. Um, what I mean is, I think him being blind opens a sort of gateway for like cheese sense through like hearing, I guess, kind of like Daredevil, um, but not directly like Daredevil because he doesn't have to be like that, right? I think it opens that doorway for that as well. Plus, he's like able to function without any sort of like pain or anything like that. He can just do he's basically not blind, if I'm being honest. Like he's basically not blind. Like he's not blind. Like he can't see, but he can see basically. So it's like, how can he see? And he's probably doing it through some sort of like cool chi manipulation, which I think would just be a good addition to his character. Is there going to be a chapter tomorrow, or is it skipped for the holiday? No, there should be a chapter tomorrow. I don't think that's how it works. Cheese pizza goes hard. That seems out of nowhere. Wait, I gotta go, but keep cooking with your videos like usual. Appreciate you. I'm gonna just call you Connie. I'm not saying that first part. Appreciate you, Connie. Can't go one stream without mentioning Latinas. Absolutely not. Not Asian women got it. To be honest, Asian women are cool. There's plenty of Asian baddies out there, but they don't speak Spanish. So, like, they don't speak Spanish. I know y'all seen that video of that one girl. I'm not sure if she was Japanese or Korean, but she grew up in Mexico. Amazing, amazing. I didn't even think that existed. Oh, it's Coom. Yeah, because I was not gonna say Coom. Even saying Coom is just pause, 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 super pause. I have to pause that. Everybody gonna get a nickname. Go okay. I take that back. Not everybody's gonna get a nickname. You got names like that, I'm super shortening it. Like I'm not saying Jalen Jones every time. They don't speak Spanish is crazy. I mean they don't. They speak their language or English if they're American or of American descent. But like they don't speak Spanish. Like, have you heard Spanish? Oh my gosh, have you heard Spanish? I'm back. What I missed? Same old rants. Nothing crazy. Have you heard Spanish? Like the language is like so auditorily pleasing. Like I'm never mad hearing that language. Now, am I mad hearing other languages? No. What I'm saying is, if I had to pick a language that I didn't understand that I would just want to listen to because like I'm forced to, it would be Spanish. The only problem with that is there are a couple caveats. Because like there's different types of Spanish. There's that Spain Spanish. There's all the Caribbean Spanish. There's Mexican Spanish. There's just a whole lot going on there. You know, there's a whole lot going on there. So you know? But I'd still choose it over basically everything else. Like, I've heard Italian. I like Italy as a country, but their language don't like. It's not like it's not like it doesn't really do it for me. Like French doesn't do it for me. I actually lived in Germany, so like German as a language, like, what I mean, it's like it doesn't do it for me. Or like other like Polish or like Russian, like those languages, they don't like hit, they don't like scratch the brain. They don't like scratch the brain. Said you love them Puerto Ricans and Chileans. Chile. Um, French. What's the best drink ever? Um. Uh. Okay, I don't think there's like a really good objective answer. Hold on, wait. Japanese language is the most sexy language. The language you can hear out of women. I don't know about all that one. I don't know about that one. I don't know about all that one. Like the most. Like it might be up there, but the most. I don't know about that one. Cause like especially like from a nigga that watch anime, no, it can get weird. It can get weird. But like, nigga said, what weeb said that? You see what I mean? You see what I mean? You said Portuguese is a beautiful language, lots of similarities to Spanish. That's true. Um, I've heard Brazilian speak. Maybe I probably haven't heard the right Brazilian speak though. So like yeah. Actually, I don't even think I heard that lady speak in that video. I think it was just a dude. But I get the sentiment. Um, in terms of like, I guess women like, or I shouldn't even say women's, like languages, like what's like genuinely pleasing to hear from like other languages. Spanish is just up there. Uh, Japanese is cool, I guess. Like I'm used to hearing it because I watch anime, but it's not like I'm like super giddy over hearing Japanese. I'm not like, oh my gosh, she speaks Japanese. You know? Oh my gosh, Arabic. I've been seeing a lot of Arabic women. Yo, the Arabic language, when spoken by Arabic women, it just hits a different kind of like level. You know what I mean? Like it's a little different. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's a sleeper right there. Nigga said, and they like pizza. Brazilian Portuguese sounds different from Europort. Well, I haven't heard either definitively, so don't really matter to me. Not gonna lie, don't matter to me. But uh, wait, what did I say? Arabic? Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Arabic is like starting to really scratch that like part of my brain where I'm like, oh, I like that. That sounds good. Does it sound good because she bad? Probably. But like that adds to it. Like that just adds to it. Where it's like, oh, she bad, but like she sound like she's screaming at me. You know what I mean? Lebanese women used to be my thing. Not gonna lie. All right, let me go back up and look at Jalen's comment. He said, "Who are your dream matchup fights for Ordeal?" Um, Minamoto versus the Beast Gaki because I want the Beast Gaki to kill Minamoto so that my boy Orion can grow, can like shoot up the ranks, but also so my boy Beast Gaki can get some great shine. So there's that one. Um, uh, let me think. I would love to see Yukiko fight the Child Gaki. I think that fight can have all types of implications and all types of like narrative, like things. I think that fight as a whole would just be really good for like spectacle, but I think it's one of the fights where it's like, oh, it's like the next generation of like, you know, Sabito and Bayal. Like we're basically doing this again. Like I would love to see that. Um yeah. So those are two definitive ones. Um I wish we knew slightly more about. Oh, you know what? Another good fight. I think Ian versus Berto would be very nice. That might be beautiful actually. I'm not even gonna lie. It would just be like it could essentially just be a big ass kaiju battle or like Pacific Rim, but ordeal. And I think that'd be cool. Um, yeah, it'd actually be cool. Um, Andrea versus anybody that gives her development. If I'm being honest, let's be real about it. I don't. I don't really have any like others though. I think those are the only really solid ones that make sense for the characters, but also would just be really cool to see. Yeah. So those are my three. Minamoto versus the Beast Gaki, Yukiko versus the Child Gaki, and Ian versus Berto. I think those can have good implications. Let me go back. Okay, let's go to Lebanese women use Brazilian Portuguese is definitely different from European Portuguese. What screams at you is crazy. That's not what I said. Yeah, wait, yeah, I'm a gentle type of guy. I'm not into the screaming. It's hit or miss. Like it's this really became a whole conversation. Um, Speaking of, is Brent gonna use that Meg he drew years ago? I don't think so. I think even in that post, I think he said it's an idea. So you could technically say it's a possibility, but I don't think he'll use it. I don't think he'll use it. I seen Roberto Fox form. I just need to know what he can do. Yeah, I feel like yeah. Cause like what is he gonna give him? Like what is he gonna do other than be a big ass dog? You know. Um, Screaming is too much for me personally. Euro languages are pretty attractive to me from coming from women. Wait, have I heard someone speak French? I think what can be more attractive than the language is the accent. Low key, high key, high key, like more yeah, like a good accent. Like even like yeah, if you speak French but you have a French accent, yeah, or you're Italian, you have Italian, yeah, yeah. Like even like Russian or like German women, I'm not like super giddy to hear them speak their language, but them talking at all and me being able to understand with their natural accent, yeah, I can. I think that's another outlook we're missing in the conversation. Yeah, yeah. I feel like I'm glad I brought that up. Yeah, yeah. Screaming is too much though. Uh, it just depends. It's like some people can handle it, some people can't. Like, can I handle being screamed at? Yeah, actually, yeah, 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 yeah. I think I can handle being screamed at. Yeah, I shouldn't say that so many times. I feel like one thing people don't talk about when it comes to ordeal, and one thing Brent that's really good besides black representation is the fact he comes up with such unique powers. I agree. I think if I had to say, I think Andrea's talent interaction with Pandora's chest is probably the most unique thing in Ordeal. It's one of the most unique things in Ordeal. Couldn't Roberto create illusions like an actual nine-tailed fox or any of their other abilities? I mean, probably. Wait, why did he say relax? Did I miss something? Brand should add a guy who likes pizza, bro. Anton. you ain't see the picture of him as a kid and as a grown man eating pizza in both panels. He even offered some. He likes pizza for sure. All types of slices. Oh wait. Oh, you said W thick pun Sandman, especially a thick accent. Pun. Was it pun? Did I miss some? Oh, sure. Um, yeah, I mean, in theory, Berto could do whatever in a nine-tailed fox can. It just depends on how it's depicted. Because, like, if we took like, I mean, maybe Kurama isn't the best example for Naruto, but like, Kurama can't do like all the. He can't do all the like nine-tailed fox stuff. You know what I mean? He's just a really strong fox. He can like do some healing. He's actually really smart, so that could play a part into it. Like he, out of like all the tail beasts, is really smart. So that could be an aspect you could technically say. But like he's not like a really good example. So like also it just depends on like what you want to give him, because it just depends on what you want to give him. So like what's a good example? Like I have a Kitsune character, but she can't do all Kitsune related things. Like she has specific things, you know. So it just depends on what Brent will specifically give him. Like what's another good example? Like so it's a good character. I guess we could use Vince as an example. Like Vince has an octopus arm talent. Not an octopus talent as a whole. He's an octopus arm talent. Like he can't shift into an entire octopus. He can only shift his arms. But he can't like shoot any ink. He can't like squeeze himself into like certain like crevices, you know what I mean? Like so like there's like that's what I mean. Like it just depends on what is actually being given, right? Brent saying Roberto might have survived fighting Abijah, Minamoto, Orion, Levi, Ian, Season 2, Shay, and Tevin all at the same time has skyrocketed my expectations of him. Well, he got shot by a human, so you should really lower him. Now, if he got shot by Reed, it'd be a little different, but he got shot by a nigga who basically reinvented the bullet. Like, that's essentially what happened. He got shot by a guy who reinvented the bullet. And me personally, that shit not cool to me. Now, did the Beastgaki also die with everybody else that Shay killed? Yes. But did he go out sad like Berto? No. No, he did not. He just walked in and aura farmed a little bit and then like died with everybody else. Like, can't even hate him for that. The nigga aura farmed. In fairness, he healed it though. The nigga should have dodged, honestly. He should have caught it. Nigga should have, bro. Imagine he caught the bullet with his teeth. That shit would have been tough. That shit would have been tough. But that very shot like hoed him. Like he got hoed, and then like by proxy Reed got hoed because like Reed has a gun too, and niggas clown him for not shooting. So it's like, you know what I mean? Even after he transformed, like why aren't you up in the pole? What are we doing? I can see why people say Roberto is like Kurama, and Kurama comes from Chinese myth, just like other Naruto moves and characters. So I'll say his talent is more like Chinese myth. I guess. Wait, he wasn't expecting. He thought it was a normal bullet. He wouldn't have any effect on him. You can't say that because he just gets shot outright. So you can't even say that. I mean, Konos. Wait, does that get shown? Yeah, Konos literally gets shot by like a freaking explosive arrow, and then he like catches the next arrow. So it's like, You know what I mean? Like, you know. But even before that, or yeah, even before that, he also just like puts his hands up to like try and block it. So it's like block the other arrows that Sonya has, like her actual talent arrows. So it's like you can't really say that. You can't like really say that. Chinese mythology and Taoism have things that overlap, like the Kidian. I think that's an example. I think. Um, yeah, like the way the panels are drawn, it was like he just gets shot. Like he doesn't. There's no prior reaction to before the bullet shot is shot. There's no reaction to the gun being pulled out. So he literally just gets shot. So he literally just gets shot, right? Oh yeah. Shout out Nara. Explosive arrow and rock armor shattering chi bullet and barrage. Yeah. And like Konos is like aware that he can or that like those are damaging him. He doesn't care. Like he doesn't care. So what you could say instead is that he doesn't care that he got shot. Because he does heal from it. But like this nigga's a human, bro, and like the gun shouldn't even be shooting the bullet that fast. Like you know what I mean? So it's like, come on. Come on. Well, damn, y'all got that? I do this for a living, bro, so I have to. Like I have to. You got to look at like all the aspects of it, bro. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't do that. I mean, a good amount of Naruto also pulled from Hinduism and Buddhism. Yeah, that's true. And I only can say that's true because I watched videos on it. So yeah, sounds good. All right, I got like 4 minutes, man. His healing reminds me of the dog from the Oduzo clan. That's fair. I guess that's just high level healing. That's just what it looks like. But even then, his is still better, technically, because there's no like comparable feat to when the dog is like being screamed at and his skin is ripping off to like what Konos has shown. But his healing is just faster anyway. Like I don't think that would work on him basically. Like he's just better. So but that's just high level healing. That's just what high level healing looks like. Even technically Goro does something like that. Those new firearms better be useful for the weaker as human characters. I mean they already are. Who is M? Who is M? You said that earlier. I didn't mean to overlook it. Um, hold on. Wait. Yeah. I mean, they like technically already are. The guns are already useful. It's just like they're not fighting anybody where they're like overly useful against them. Basically, it's like if I had oh, what's a good analogy? I don't even know. It's like using a rocket launcher on like a dollhouse versus uh, a freaking tungsten wall. You know what I mean? Like like one's gonna just do better, right? It's gonna be more effective and more useful, essentially. And so like the bullets are useful, but like it doesn't matter because these characters already have high healing, and they're fighting people, or yeah, like and they're shooting at people who are far above them in reaction time, speed, strength, whatever you want to call it. Like they're just superior to them overall. So like it doesn't really matter what they're shooting at them with. What confuses me with Berto is the fact he regrows his missing arm when he shifted. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I actually like that aspect of it. I think that might be like a talent specific thing, like in the shift, which is the only way we can explain it because he doesn't have his regular arm. He has a metal arm, so like the only way you can explain it is like the shift, like the shift heals. I mean, but even then, it's like if the shift heals, like how can he heal his eye? But I guess you could explain that as like natural chemical healing being like really high as opposed to like actual, you know, limb loss. Another thing like is probably that um, kind of like with Shay is like he got the injury before he could heal. Like it's too like a capacity, like it's too late to be healed. Kind of like Mikhail, I guess. Like he got his injury kind of like at a point where like healing wouldn't be possible because he doesn't have that capability yet. But who the fuck knows, man? I don't know. Okay. Conversations. Let me go back up. For the dog, I think it's more of he has to see the spot to heal it, which is why it doesn't heal the rib cage. Didn't heal the rib cage. I'll have to go back and look at that. The Titan's armor hasn't been mass produced yet. Could be more than the 2 we've seen. The Titan's armor? Are you talking about the G3 suits? I don't care about them suits. What is the agenda you have against Minamoto? That's what I meant to say. I want Minamoto to die because I think it's possible for Orion to get his talent through a unique interaction. But I also want him to die because I want the Beast Gaki to do well. If Minamoto dies, it just shows that the Beast Gaki is stronger than the rank 5, or as at least that level, right? But if Minamoto dies, we could also get a sort of concept where, you know, Minamoto dies, and instead of transferring his talent to Orion, Orion literally uses his talent on Minamoto to acquire his talent forever now. Now he has his talent through a unique means. I think that's cool. That's why I want Minamoto to die, because it can add to the story in 2 different aspects. It adds a strength feat for a character and a talent interaction for another. That's the only reason I want Minamoto to die. If Minamoto wasn't, if basically I would feel this way if Orion was anybody else's hand, right? Or yeah, or if the Beast Gaki fought anybody else, I would feel the same way. But Minamoto, he literally kills 2 birds with 1 stone if Brent does it, and I think that would be cool. But it's only if Brent does it, you know. And plus, in the future, the updated tech for suppressing talents going for the best size suppressor just small enough to fit around the throat. Just part of this conversation I'm just not really keen into. Yo Jay, who's been your favorite season 3 exclusive character? As in like introduced this season, or they actually got shine this season? Because none of the characters that are introduced this season are actually that cool. Like Jose's not cool, Lath isn't cool. Like they don't do it for me. Like outside of their talents, they're not characters I genuinely care about, right? And the only characters that are actually cool or have a sort of thematic presence in the season are ones that the Beast Gaki is a literal fraud. He got shot by a human. Wrong character. The Beast Gaki didn't get shot. That was Berto. Berto is the Fox Gaki. What was I saying? The only characters this season that are like genuinely interesting are the ones that came from prior seasons, basically. Like Lewis, or Rajani, or fucking Shay, like even Azam if he got more shine, like Andrea if he got more shine. Like all the characters who are interesting aren't ones that came to, like none of the first table are interesting. None of them are interesting. They all were introduced this season, and none of them are interesting. Once they died, they lost all like credibility of being like interesting and cool characters. Even Junie isn't that great right now. She's just really like, she's just emo, and she's not like cool emo. She's not like she got a little bit of aura farm. She got some aura farm points, but she's not like overall cool. Like there's nothing like she's done right now that like makes me like, oh yeah, I'm so glad Junie's getting screen time, or I can't wait to see more of Junie. It's like she like all the characters that are introduced this season, like they're not that cool. They're not that great. Like they're not that interesting. Brent literally introduced characters this season and then like shat on all of them. He shat on Jose with Shay. He shat on Lath with Shay twice basically. Um, he shot on Rajani, but she's not from the season. But he kind of shot on her a little bit. Um, he shot on every single pillar, all of them except for Shay. Every single pillar got shot on. Eric died off rip. Candler got blitzed, and Jin got perception blitzed, and then Junie lost an arm. Right, like he shot on all of them. So every new character we're seeing this season, none of them are like overly interesting or more interesting than any of the characters we already have. Like we were already acquainted with. Hold on, let me go back. I think he's what? Wait, hold on. Do you think their healing could be affected by the Titan tech? It could be, but it hasn't been shown to be. Even what's her name? Even Jurohime can heal from the swords, like the blades, from that the two greyhounds use against her. So like it's possible, in my opinion, it's possible. Um, but from what we've seen, like it doesn't work unless they're like I guess decapitated, or essentially, like, or it's like overly lethal, like the what Ian does. Like Ian throws his lance at the guy's head, and he doesn't heal from that, right? So like it has to be something like that, you know. But I think healing is also individual. It's not like everybody has the same level of healing. Like there's still an individual aspect to it as well. Um, I think he swaps places with his fox, so whatever scars are there, they get or have their own. That's not how shift talents work, technically speaking. Yeah, that's like not how shift talents work. If you said that with like the Beast Gaki, it would make more sense. But that's not how shift talents work. And not that a shift talent can't work like that, but probably wouldn't be a shift talent if we're being honest. That's just not how they work. Like shift talents are your biology is literally becoming that of the creature. Like you are becoming that creature. So Berto is the wolf. It doesn't really make sense for him to like switch places with the wolf, because or the fox. I said the wolf, the fox, because then the fox would be its own entity, you know. And you could reclassify the talent as like a void. Then I guess it could still be a shift, but like it doesn't really make that much sense. Everyone also struggles to think what can Mina do with smoke besides making constructs. Make bigger constructs. It would also be a callback to Leo and Shay with another adoptive son getting his father's talent. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, never mind. You're talking about Minamoto. Yes. Played a major part in season 3. I guess Lewis for specifics, but none of the characters are interesting. I want to see more from Melodan and the Gaki. I like his design. I like his interaction with Berto. Berto was not a Gaki I care about, though, but I like his interaction with him. I like it. It shows that the Gaki have like they're not all friendly. They're not all buddy, right? Like obviously Berto and Ariel, they have their own unique relationship, but it just shows that everybody else also has like a unique relationship as well, which is something I think I point out kind of. Speaking on the first table, it's funny how the leader went from dissing Shay to following his will to the grave. I wish we got more build up for the change in opinion of Shay by the first table. Agreed. Again, they got shat on. I need to see a toxic talent. That's fair. Melodan might be the one. It probably is. Like, not even might. Just almost guaranteed. Almost guaranteed. You think Shay's gonna rape Patmos and free the Ancient One? That's what everybody says. I feel like it kind of makes sense. I guess like it kind of makes sense. So like Shay just goes to Patmos, frees the Ancient One, and then like kills all the other inmates, like kills all the unjust ones, or like the like justifiable ones, and like frees everybody else. I feel like Shay's current character, he would be going there to essentially like destroy Patmos as opposed to like a prison break. He would be there to like free the people who deserve to be free, and then kill everybody else who he sees, you know, as deserving to be dead. Which makes sense for his current character. So At a phone call, what I miss? Nothing. Rating Patmos would mean we would get Shay versus Vatic plus the guards, and that's a fight I want to see. I want to see Shay body Vatic. It'd honestly be kind of funny if Shay killed Vatic. Kind of funny. That would also add to like the great, the biggest threat because he freed or he destroyed an island, a prison island, and killed a god tier. But he don't, Brand don't got it right from doing all that. I mean, Kong has special conditions, so we'll have to see. Yeah, but Anton is still becoming Kong biologically. So just because Kong exists doesn't stop Anton from also becoming Kong. Like he's still following the traits of of what a what a shift talent is what a shift talent does. He's still biologically becoming the source of his talent. It's just that his talent is also alive and it can also be summoned, right? So, I mean, unless you want to like make that point, but like it just wouldn't make sense for how he's like been described basically, or how he's not even been described, how he's been shown. He's literally we see him actually turn into the fox. Like his his biology starts to change, so it doesn't really make sense for him to be swapping with another creature. You know what I mean? I read that. Just got off work, about to script the next review. W review. W analysis. I think Horseman would fight Shay if he raided. Horseman would die. Unless his talent weapon is just oh so good. Like what is this nigga gonna do? What is that nigga gonna do? Like 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 Brent has to really write it to where it's like, oh, it makes sense for them to be on par with current Shay, but like Shay would either not go all out and like show him mercy and try and like and treat him like and like basically treat him like Goku does and like reduce him to his level, or he would just kill him, and it's not like fun to see, not like super fun to see. I mean, it could be like for comedic purposes, like how when we first see him, but I feel like the Horseman can be kind of done better than that. Isn't Kong Chi so Anton shifted with what? Isn't Kong Chi so Anton shifted with Poison Chi? What? Anton didn't even shift that episode. I wonder when they all adopted them. Agreed. Good point, Nara. I think shift talents are unique in how their shift works. But Anton also didn't shift that episode. That was just Kong. So like Anton didn't shift with Poison Chi. Unless you want to like, but I think Brent also confirmed in the Discord that Anton has 2 chi pools. So, but like that's its own subject. That doesn't fully relate to what's happening here. Unless you want to say that Anton was risking using Kong's chi because of the poison, which isn't fully implied in my opinion. It's more so he doesn't know what it's going to do to Kong directly, as opposed to what it's going to do to himself, right? So it's a little iffy, but at the end of the day, shift talents they're still biologically becoming what they're supposed to become, even if their added traits are like unique. I mean, Jurohime is still biologically adopting spider traits, and Vince is still biologically adopting like some octopus traits. Like they're still there. We don't have any other shift talents. Oh, and yeah, and Berto is still we literally see part of Berto's body change. I think both times, but definitively in season 2. I'm out. Peace. See y'all when I see y'all. See ya, Magazine. Appreciate you stopping by. Give your opinion. Do you think Shay is gonna die at the end of the ordeal? I think it's I guess you weren't here when I said. I think it's possible. I think it makes sense, but it's just as easily applicable if Shay is sort of like a hermit, right? I think it's okay. I think it makes more sense for Shay to die, given what Brent said in the past, given what Shay's brother says in that sort of spiritual heaven realm. Yeah. So wouldn't that prove my opinion on just and wait? of just on is injured or what? What? Wouldn't that prove my opinion? No, no. Well, hold on. Let me think. Let me think. Let me be fair. There's still an example I'm pulling from. Like we literally see Jurohime change her arm and then lose her fingers and it gets healed, right? But those are still her fingers, right? 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 But we also see Berto heal from his eye, you know? What you're implying is that essentially Berto is or the concept how you're saying it is essentially Berto and the Fox are two separate entities. But that's not how shift talents work. That's not how they work. So what you're saying can't work like that because that's not how shift talents work at a base. Anton can also summon Kong with Doppelganger, but he's still shifting biologically. I said that already, but yeah. But he also doesn't have to shift to do that, you know? But yeah. Right? Yeah. You could even like argue, I guess, that even Kong is like shifting into just a grander version of himself, but that's like too what's the word? Miscellaneous, like too niche, I guess. But yeah, like Anton is biologically becoming Kong. We see that throughout the series. So it just makes sense that shift talents, as they're described, turn the individual. They change their biology. They change their biology. They're literally becoming a different entity. They're not. Well, they're biologically becoming a different individual. They are still technically, they still have the same consciousness. They're still the same person. I guess they still have the same soul, but biologically they are now different, right? But let's just say, like, if Berto were to lose his other arm, let's just say he specifically his left arm for it to make more sense. If Berto were to lose his left arm and then he shifted and he didn't have a left arm, that would make sense because he's no longer he's still the same individual, right? Um, this kind of applies to like Jose, right? Jose has a transformation, and we see Jose lose his arm, right? Now Jose is a hide user, but his hide is very unique, and he's almost like a shift user, right? But Jose loses his arm, and it's not like he heals and like or reattaches it or anything like that. He just loses his arm outright, and it's not like we actually see him lose his arm. But when we do see the Sun Through Moon slash like come closer to his actual transformation, the the physical body of Jose is also just like the cut. You know what I mean? Um, like it just I guess it just makes sense. I can't like make it make more sense with that example. I guess I can't explain it further, but I think the point I'm trying to make is there. True, but the rule of each shift are different, so even if they shift, they biologically wait. Even if what? If they shift, they biologically of their body, it doesn't mean they're in control of the body. He reformed his arm into a hand bomb. I don't think that's how that was supposed to be depicted, in my opinion. I thought that was like essentially another what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Like I thought that was just like a reshaped, basically. That's how I depicted it, but I guess that could be true. All right, let me look at this comment again. True, but the rule of each shift are different. So even if they shift, they biologically of their body, it doesn't mean they're in control of the body. What you saying is a contradiction. I'm pretty. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like what you're saying is a contradiction. I mean, just because their body shift doesn't mean they're in control. That's also directly countered by the series itself. And the only time it would be is if, somebody like Andrea was fully taken over, right? But that's not a shift related incident. That's a cursed chi related incident. Ooh, like Naruto and Kurama. Yeah, but it would have to be that only works if it's a mental talent like Ilios and Shay, or Ilios in what's his name's body. But we're talking about a different concept. We're talking about an entirely different concept to that. Every shift user has had control over their body. We've never seen that before. If it was a curve talent, sure, exactly. That's what you're saying. Just one, it hasn't been shown. Not that it can't happen, but it just hasn't been shown to be the case. You can theorize about it, but you can't say that definitively because from what we've seen, that's not the case at all. Not to mention every shift user we've seen is like still acting of their own accord. Like I can joke about Berto being a guard dog, but that's still him like growling. You know, you know. And Anton actually gains a personality, but it's still Anton. It's still Anton. Like even like a good example is like his fight against Jirohime. Like he's becoming Kong now, and he's gaining a personality, but he's still his own entity. Especially when we see him kind of at the top, like when we see him at the like actually destroy Jirohime's lower half. That's when it's even more clear that that's just him in and of himself. It's not like he's being willed and influenced by Kong, like by Kong's own consciousness. We're going to have to just see. Yeah, I mean, duh. But like, like what's more accurate? You know what I mean? Because what you're saying, like, it's like what you're saying almost slightly would apply, like I said, to like a character like Shay and Ilios. But what you're also saying can be its own concept, and it wouldn't fully make sense to do it to a shift talent. It wouldn't fully make sense. That's in my opinion, that would be a sort of void adjacent ability, right? If you're switching places with another entity, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? That makes more sense. If we look at it like in the grand scheme of things, what makes more sense is basically what I'm trying to say. And what you're saying makes less sense. That's not to like sound rude, but like what you're saying just makes less overall sense. I think. Whoa, wait, hold on. Let me look at this one. Not that one. Not that one. Am I tripping, or were there other blades alongside Norigiri Suzuhara that was mentioned in passing at some point in the series? Yeah, they're called the Tenka Goken. We just haven't seen them. Wait, what's stopping Zahar from trying to claim one of them? Um, Technically nothing, I guess. We just don't know if we don't know if they still exist. We don't know what they actually are. Um, we don't. They could be like Zahara as well, so it's possible she can't claim them. She also needs a host, and it's very clear in the series that you can only have so many talent weapons and talents as a whole, right? So even if she herself had a host, which is why somebody like Andrea was kind of like a perfect vessel for her. Even if she had like the writer, if she stayed with him, the writer itself could only hold so many talent weapons, right? He could maybe only hold one more simply because he has another arm, but it's likely that his chi point, or like it's likely that his chi pool wouldn't be able to contain the full talent of Zahara who took him over, and another talent weapon potentially on that level as well, right? That's kind of it. Okay, so he said I think his reference. I think his reference is the talent showcase where Anton went 30%. But even then, that doesn't like clarify or like enhance what he's trying to say. That only enhances the point, the overall point I'm making of like shift talent still biologically changing the individual, especially at that moment where it's literally shown that he gains a personality. Part of his body actually changes. He gains an entire tail. He gains like a whole new face. You know what I mean? But he's not switching places with Calm, essentially. Right? That's even if that's like the point, or even if that's like what he's referring to, it still wouldn't add to his overall argument. Jay, do you like the Reddit ordeal server? No, I'm never in the Reddit. I'm never in it. I don't feel the need to go there. What time is it? All right, I got like 5 minutes. I said I had 30 minutes last time, but I actually had 5 minutes. I've been on stream for a cool 3 hours, a crisp, cool 3 hours. A crisp and cool 3 hours. I'm never on the Reddit because there's spoilers. A lot of people in the Reddit are either racist or I don't think they understand the story the same way I do, so it would be like talking to a wall. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't serve me. Is what people say like that. Going in the Reddit doesn't serve me. It's only Kong's slow soul slash talent affecting him biologically. Exactly. Yeah, I guess exactly. Yeah, it's like Kong isn't influencing him. Only reason I'm on the Reddit is to read everyone's thoughts on the fast pass. I don't need to do that. I have my own thoughts. Mostly everybody else's opinion doesn't matter that much to me. Not gonna lie. So, like, even if I was reading, like even if I wasn't doing YouTube and I was like reading ahead just normally, and I was also in the Discord, which I probably wouldn't be, um, I wouldn't, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be in the fast pass because like everybody else's opinions don't matter to me. Like only a few opinions on this episodes actually like matter because they're relatively valid and relatively intellectual opinions, right? Um, Not to say that like opinion is not like everybody shouldn't have an opinion. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that like if you like scroll through the comments of like the actual episode, a lot of people are saying the same stuff with different words, right? So that's why sometimes there isn't a lot of like comment of the weeks because a lot of people are just saying the same thing. Nobody's offering anything new or interesting to the episode, right? Um, but the comment I chose for Sunday's video is actually something we can kind of look at and like question, basically, right? Right. So you like the Discord server more? Not necessarily, because a lot of people in there are just as lackluster in how they perceive the story. I'm gonna say it like that. There's only a few people in the Discord who have like relatively valid opinions about what's going on. Yeah. Like, well, like two of them are in the chat right now. Those are like the only people whose opinions, specifically right now in relation to like what we're talking about, really matter from the Discord. That's Faceless, and that's Nara. That's it. Like that's truly it. Some people have like a lot of people, and it doesn't bother me, but like a lot of people will like ask questions that like have been answered. Like a lot of people will and 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 there are and like sometimes I understand it, like I get it of like a okay, like maybe you missed this, or maybe you like didn't know this, or like you glossed over it. But there was a guy in the Discord who dead ass hadn't read season 1 or 2 and only read season 3. What are you even doing? Why? What? How are you reading with us about current story when you don't even know the full context? What are we doing? I would never jump into a series not starting from the beginning. I literally got into Ordeal during season 1. That's like me. That's like me going into Ordeal season 1 and only starting at the latest chapter. Only starting at the latest chapter and just going from there. Why would you not read the rest before that? That makes no sense. So I got asked if Shay was Jesus one time. Yes, I heard about that one. That hurt my brain. Where's the Thanatos ordeal meme? That's funny. I got banned from Discord, so I'm chilling. That's good. That's cool. It's not nothing crazy in there. Wait, I tried to go through the Discord fast pass, but it's too many trolls for me. Makes sense. Is there anything I missed? Ordeal fans not reading was a meme at first. Now it's just a fact for some reason. For some, yeah. Just, wait. He said what? You don't even know what this story about? Yeah, he was asking questions like that were answered basically in season 2, and we're kind of like, did you read? And he's like, no, I just started reading this season. Huh? Wait. There was someone that only read the first 4 episodes. Sure. There was someone that hadn't even read it. Also, like, people just forming opinions without full context and just saw edits. Turner, you gonna like this review? I guess he didn't care. Time is up. Alright, y'all. It's that time. I'm gonna go eat. No, I'm not gonna eat pizza. Don't put it in the chat. It's that time. I gotta work early in the morning. I have to go eat. I have to go shower. Chill for the rest of the night. WYAP session. Appreciate y'all for coming through as always. Y'all really flocked in and gathered this time. It was kind of crazy. Appreciate Faceless for being here. Majority. Sometimes he don't chat often. He be at work. He be working. Appreciate Jalen. Jalen be pulling up to the streams. Shout out Ariel. Shout out Sandman. Shout out The Real Beans. I don't know why you changed your name to that, man. There must be a context I'm missing. I'm missing somebody else. There's somebody. Oh, there he is. Shout out Nocturnal. W Yaps. W Questions. I'm missing somebody else too. I don't think Echo Runner showed up. Oh, shout out Miles. Shout out Magazi, he left, and shout out Daniel. I see you too. Pretty sure that's all the chats. Oh, the what ifs. Just missed it. Next time, Jay. Oh yeah, I've seen you in here, bro. You missed it, but it's all good. You know the VOD's gonna be up. That's not my. Wait, that's not my at. What am I tripping? That's my at, not my username. Well, at is what it was what I'm seeing, so it don't matter. You see how Code Archives is Code Archives and Faceless Eternal is Faceless Eternal? Figure it out, gang. Everybody know who I'm talking about? You still basically changed it though. That's crazy. Anyway, wait, hold on, wait. Peace out, y'all. Any prayer, Jay? You said be safe, King. Why you throw the dance emoji? Always here to have a good time. W good time. Jalen bring up good points. Jalen might I don't know. He might actually have to be like, I don't know. No, he's a W man's. He don't say anything too wild. I appreciate him for like keeping it in the confines of like sanity. I appreciate when like people do that, especially about ordeal, because people will take it and like stretch it way too far. And yo, who considers themselves a fan and didn't read the whole series? Just wow. Hey man, blows my mind too. But just quick prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit, I pray. Father, I thank you for allowing me to have breath in my lungs, the ability to speak, so I can talk to all these lovely people here. Shout out everybody for coming through. Lord, continue to bless them in all of their endeavors, enhance their skills, focus their minds, ease their spirits. If anybody's eating late, bless their meals. I know I'm finna eat. Keep helping me, keep helping them. I want to give great thanks for allowing me to be here in this position. As always, I appreciate being able to make content for something that can stretch and have a grand message, and all these lovely people will receive it. So thank you, Father, for putting me in this position. Thank you for sending me all these lovely people. Is that all I want to say? I think that's all I got. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. Y'all have a good night. I'm tired and I'm hungry and I'm hot because I'm hot in this. It's hot as hell in this hot ass, funky ass room that I'm in, like Berleezy said. Catch y'all on Sunday's video. Y'all might see me in the comments. Y'all might not. Some of them be wilding. Oh, happy Thanksgiving. That's what I was missing. Yo, y'all have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. Y'all have great eats. Y'all have turkey. You might have chicken, ham, mac and cheese, yams, green beans. Shoot, name some other food. Cornbread, nigga. Kool-Aid, nigga, lemonade, sweet tea, unsweet tea, whatever y'all drinking on, whatever y'all eating on. Y'all have great eats. Y'all eat get an extra side of mac and cheese for me in spirit though, you know what I mean? Oh, baked beans, dressing, lamb. Yeah. Y'all got it. I'll make sure y'all have a great Thanksgiving. I'll make sure y'all enjoy y'all family. Sweet potato pie, yeah, desserts, cookies, cakes, pies, all that good stuff. Y'all have good eats. Y'all enjoy the time with the family. And if you're not enjoying time with your family, whoever's family you're with, enjoy your time with them. And if you with your significant other, unlike me, hello, just appreciate them and be thankful, because we all gonna die one day and you're still alive right now. I'm gonna catch y'all though. I'm gonna let this beat right out. Yeah, I can't hear it, so I'm just pretending it's really good. Yeah. Y'all have a good night. As always, the vol will be up, and I'll see y'all in the next one.